Hello. Ooh, platform of the future and real science. Cool slogans. Now, let's see the receipts. We love a good receipt, right? Disclaimer. This video is fair use, commentary, and education. I'm critiquing the ideas, the tactics, the content, not diagnosing anyone. And if you're an Herbalife or Prüvit, this is not an attack on you. I'm here to analyze patterns that, in my opinion, can mislead consumers and recruits. Hello. Quick context. This conversation features Blake Mallon, new Herbalife CEO Stephan. I'm gonna butcher some names. Do we love that? I certainly don't. My chair is not like in its normal position, and I don't like it. So that's neither here nor there, but it's kind of here. And it's kind of there because I'm not going to be able to focus, but that's okay. I don't know how to Graziani, Grazi, I don't know. I don't know. Graziani, hello? And Pruvit CEO, our beloved, except opposite of that, Brian Underwood, discussing Herbalife's acquisition of Pruvit and something called protocol. When a legacy MLM says it is building the platform of the future, but leans on hype, vague tech promises, and inspirational backstories, instead of clear evidence, it rebrands old recruitment pressures as innovation. Let's walk through it together. Maybe not. Let's get to it. Squirrels, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know. Greetings, salutations, hello. My chair is going to ruin my life today. I don't know what happened. Is it too low? Is it too high? I don't know what happened. Was it too low? Okay. But my hair. It's gonna ruin my life. Should we stop streaming now? Look, I'm wearing Ob's earrings. I put on the black one because I felt like it would match my shirt the best. And I put the white little twisties in. Because remember, I got my little bag of twisties. Wait, are they both in? Yes. Hero! 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 I was going to wear the purple ones. Because, let's just be honest. Oh my god. Mel B? Can I show these pictures? Mel B, please say yes. Mel B, please say yes. Yes. I have these little sticky things in my hair. Mel B, please say yes. I went to here's my high. Went to physical therapy and drove myself for the 3rd time. And the valet guy he's so kind and he's so nice. I don't know if kind and nice are the same thing, but he is so happy that I can drive myself because he's kind of seen me in my walker only stage and my walker half on stage, and he's like so delighted that I can drive and I didn't have to use my walker today. Look at this cat. Look at this BB. Look at this little BB. Look at this study buddy. Look at this pure delight. What a floofy baby. This is another high. Project manager has gone to sleep. Kind and nice. His name is Marcus. Marcus is delightful. Marcus, you are a joy. You are a gentleman and a scholar. He looks like Gray Boy. Oh my god, I also love your shells in the background because I'm being a total creep. Where did you get those shells? And did you find them all yourself? Sorry, distracted. We're watching Herbalife, which is a combination of Pruvit and Herbalife. Now, I probably should have done something with Herbalife first, but it didn't sound as good. I love that. Gray Boy did too. A fantastic cat. What a little BB. Scully says hello. Oh, Lynn's not here. I found Lynn's cross stitch. I'm gonna put it up right. Maybe right there. I gotta hang that. I love a purr that like shakes your whole body. Why do y'all have the best names for Russian blue cats? They're the homeowner shells. They're gorgeous, probably from around here somewhere. Port Douglas in far north Queensland. I love that. I love that so much. Sorry. This is the cup fit. I've had this for 3 years, for 2 years. Guess what? This is infused with the frequency of stainless steel and sweet tea. And it doesn't have the EMS of protection, except I can probably hit you over the head and protect myself as I walk out to my car. And it keeps my ice cold for over 24 hours. You know how I know this? Because I leave it next to my bed, and I am a drink goblin. Gremlin? I am a drink gremlin. Also, if you want to buy kazoo earrings from Ov, they're lightweight. I have this the sterling silver in. Cute. And I'm gonna probably get a stainless steel straw, but plastic. Delicious. Frequency could never. Except they do. Edward and Thomas. Love it. Caspian's not as good of a name as that. Just Stanley. Stanley, if you go to Etsy, you can look at people on Etsy do many fancy things to Stanley, but guess what? It's etched in there. And dishwasher safe, baby. All right, let's go. Oh, hi, I drove myself. Low, I'm in significant pain today, but that's okay. Oh, hi, Aaron helped me with writing stuff today because I'm not a good writer, but Aaron is, so shout out to Aaron. Health Reimagined inside Herbalife. What is this called? Herbalife's bold move with protocol and Pruvit. Rip. I am not wearing headphones so y'all can see the little cuties. Lightweight, high impact. I don't know. I know not everyone likes kazoos as much as I do, but here we are. The purple with the sparkly purple. So good. It is now cold enough here for hot cocoa. I just made myself a cup for this live. That is all. You may continue with your regularly scheduled program. Andy's Web, I love that for you. I have hot cocoa from Jessica. I can't wait to drink it. Manny's Geek, let's fucking go. I started a new med and it works. Lo, I got fresh chip in my windshield. Oh god, I hate that. Washburn? Drop a 1 if you have a Russian blue. Drop a 1 if you have a Russian blue. Also, look at the delight. The color on color, the green. Okay, forget it. Here we go. Don't look at my desk. This is not how it looks. Please hold. I'm going to fix my lights. This is not how it looks. Why do you keep changing? No, sir. No, sir. Don't you do it. This is not the color. This is dark green, so I don't know what it's doing, but I'm not here for it. We're staying here until the cows come home. Nope. This is like showing it's the same green and it's not. Okay, you're starting to see the sparkle, right? Oh, that's better. But it's still dark. Hold on. No. Okay. You. Oh my god. Hello to my desk. Why is this like this? Do you have a better picture? It's better than this, okay? Don't believe me. I don't care if we stay here all night. I'm gonna fix this. Off stuff is better than what I can take a picture of, okay? Okay. No. I'm trying to make it look like it looks right in my hand. It's like a really pretty green, and then this is like dark. I don't know what this is. Everyone's like, we want to watch Pruvit. Talk amongst yourselves. Wait, do I have a white piece of paper? Oh my god. Of course not. I'm trying so hard. This is not the color. Oh my god. This is not the color. Hold on. Please hold. I'm connecting my phone. Ah! Where is my phone? Please hold. I just want y'all to see how good Ava is, okay? And I will not be able to focus if y'all... Okay, this is way better. Okay, do y'all see the sparkle? And the green? Like how dark the green is and how pretty and light the green is? The green is still darker, okay? I know, everyone's like, let's just watch it. I'm sorry. It's the tism, okay? It's my tism. It's not everyone's. It's sparkly. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't help it. We'll just look at the purple real quick. I'm sorry. Do not judge off by me. I am having a very bad I'm having a very bad focus day. It started this morning. Okay. We're watching the stuff now. I appreciate you humoring me. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is Ov's shop. Don't judge Ov by me. Ov gives y'all a discount. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Hello, I'm DC. I'm an MLM dropout. I'm autistic and sometimes I cannot focus on things until I finish a thought. Yes, those are earrings that can be purchased with Ov. Ov made my original purple and blue earrings that were my channel colors, and then these are my Halloween earrings that I will wear all year long, because all of the kazoo parts you can interchange. And Ov gives y'all a 10% discount, DC. Okay.
We're creating the platform of the future, that we're going to do it in a way that no one does it.
Health and medicine and wellness is all converging and going because of real science.
So I think it's a real opportunity to just give the candid truth. I'm ready to have some fun.
Probably the music is going to be Health Reimagined, inside Herbalife's bold move with Protocol and Pruvit.
Blake Mallon, and we are sitting here in the Herbalife home office, right in the middle of LA Live at the center of Los Angeles, California. And I'm...
Hey Blake, how did the trying to get served 10 times with that lawsuit go, allegedly? How did that go? That go good? Did that go well, allegedly? That's pretty good, avoiding getting served 10 times. I mean, that's right on up there. Proud of you, pal.
Joined by two individuals that I've had the chance to spend.
Oh my God, did y'all match on purpose? Cute. You'll all have matching sneakers on. Cute, guys. Aw. Did y'all call each other? Before having this conversation? Cute.
A lot of time, a lot of years with Brian on one side, and a lot of time over the last 6 months with Stephan on the other, to have a real candid conversation. A first for all three of us in this format. But to my right, we have Stephan Graziani, brand new CEO of Herbalife, and Brian Underwood, co-founder and CEO of Pruvit.
Hey Brian, how's that lawsuit gone? What? Timu Edward Norton. Wow.
And this is the first time we've had a chance to have a conversation with the three of us. So thank both of you for being here. Ready to have some fun today.
First time since probably public news of the acquisition, and a lot of things have happened since, even in the short period of time that the news has hit. But
because of the lawsuits, because Brian Underwood's getting sued, and Blake is avoiding getting served allegedly 10 times? Huh? What? Sorry. Was that an inside thought? Sorry.
definitely the first time to talk about it. So thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And thank you for flying all the way out to have the conversation here as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. And like Stephan said, lots happened in just 30 days. So, a lot to digest, a lot of excitement, and super happy to be here.
Yeah. So as both of you said, so I think it was March 12th. So March 12th, press release goes out, right, announcing Herbalife acquiring Pruvit and
No, I think it's Protocol. Herbalife to acquire assets of Protocol. Acquiring Pruvit and but it says Protocol, no?
Protocol. I know my inbox is
Okay. So here's the setup. One of the biggest MLMs in the world has officially bought Pruvit, the ketone drink MLM, and they're now calling their new fusion project Protocol. When which is a separate whole, it's a whole separate thing. Herbalife didn't want Pruvit, they wanted Protocol, and Pruvit basically said you can't have Protocol without us, which it's a whole separate conversation. Like literally that's a whole separate conversation, because holy mother forking shirtballs. They're not necessarily rebranding because Protocol is a whole separate thing, but I don't even know what to say about the inflated claims. I don't even know where to start with Protocol. The more modern language. The platform it's going to sound pretty techy. We've already heard it on Aaron's channel. We've talked a little bit about my channel. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it. Oh, yeah, for sure. I am. It's been a day. It's been a day. My skin also feels like it's going to... When my skin feels like this, I feel like my skin... yes, I feel feistier than normal.
has been blown up. I'm sure your inboxes, right, as well, from all over the channel of like, what is this? This is huge news across the entire industry. So I know this is the first time we get to have kind of a real conversation of like, what does it really mean? Kind of the story behind it. We want to get into all of that, really tell the world for the first time, right, where this is going. But I think before we get there, let's kind of rewind and maybe start with some personal stories. Maybe Stephan, we'll start with you, because people now know brand new CEO, but obviously not new to Herbalife. So for those that don't know your journey, maybe take us back to where this all began. Yeah, I want to go way back. I want to go for people that outside the Herbalife walls, because I know they know your journey. Tell us about you and really what led to this moment.
Okay, so born in the U.S., Portland, Oregon. Grew up, wasn't very interested in anything except for cycling from about the age of 15. It really became my passion. And I decided at 19 to move from the US to Europe because I wanted to be a professional cyclist. So for me, I dreamt of racing the Tour de France and living that lifestyle. It took about 2.5 years to figure out I would never race in the Tour de France, and that it was more of a dream than anything, but it was a great experience. I loved being in Europe. I loved the experience of the culture.
I see something. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh my God. 26 months. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got this. We got this. We've got... I just want. Oh, yes. Yes. Hold on. Okay. I just want to make sure. Oh! Yay! Thank you so much. That's our special little ghost for October. Thank you. 26 months. Thank you for the empathy on the skin stuff. It's the sensory overload is just fluffery as a foot. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for supporting me for that long. I'm very grateful. If I'm looking off to the side, it's because chat window's over here. All it needs is windshield wipers. It's close. There was another one, but that one had the best, close. It was pretty close. It was pretty close to windshield wipers.
The lifestyle, and I wanted to stay, and I was actually looking for some type of a job. My French was okay, and I ended up 1991 finding myself through a newspaper ad invited to an Herbalife opportunity meeting.
Oh God.
And discovering in 1991 at the age of 22, almost 23, Herbalife.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning. Now fast forward, I never would have imagined from that meeting in Paris that I would be stepping into a role of CEO. I at that time I was just looking for a way to make money, and I'd never heard of this opportunity to actually start and to work with customers and to build an organization and to kind of have this type of income. I just didn't know it existed. So for me, it was like discovering something very special. And for 22 and a half years, at the time, by the way, Herbalife was in 12 markets. Mm-hmm. And so, 12 markets, the company was probably doing, $200 million or $300 million in sales. And I'll just say that Mark Hughes at the time, the founder of Herbalife, he was just an incredible person to listen to his vision.
Come on,
he wanted
dude.
to take Herbalife around the world, so passionate about people's health, and at the time focused on weight loss,
stream to 40.
Primarily because of what had happened to his mom. And I just was very lucky to fall into a company, a community with opportunity.
You want to hear some of the not so fun stuff about Herbalife? Herbalife has faced several significant fines, including a $200 million settlement with the FTC in 2016 for its multi-level marketing practices and a $122 million plus settlement in 2020 with the Department of Justice and the SEC to resolve charges of violating the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act in China. The company was also fined $20 million by the SEC in 2019 for misleading investors about its China business model. What happened in the 80s, though? In the 1980s, Herbalife faced significant regulatory scrutiny and agreed to a major settlement, with the most notable fine being $850,000 to the state of California in 1986. Herbalife was sued by the California Attorney General's office and other state regulators for making false medical claims about its products, that certain products could eliminate cellulite, treat specific ailments, or lead to significant weight loss without caloric reduction, and for operating an illegal endless chain marketing scheme. In October 1986, Herbalife settled the suit for $850,000 in civil penalties, investigation costs, and attorney's fees, without admitting wrongdoing. The Food and Drug Administration issued a notice of adverse findings in 1982 and again in 1985. This led to Herbalife agreeing to remove certain ingredients like mandrake and poke root, which were considered unsafe for food use, and from two products, and to modify or remove unproven medical claims from its distributor manuals and product labels. Where were they with Young Living? Senate subcommittee hearings. In 1985, Herbalife founder Mark Hughes was called to testify before a U.S. Senate subcommittee regarding the company's products and marketing practices. Welp. Just because a company gets fined doesn't mean that they're bad. It is strange. That is tame. That's tame. That sounds okay. You might say, like, oh my God. When you listen to the founder of Herbalife speak, though, it's way more intense than what I'm reading. Okay? Way more intense. Way more intense. How much is that in today's money? How much is $850K, 1982 in today, 2025? $2,853,674.61. So $850,000 in 1982 is equivalent in purchasing power of $2,853,674.61 today. About. So.
A community where personal development was just a huge part, and becoming more and making a difference, making an impact in other people's lives through.
It's interesting. We're listening to him. We're listening to Stephan. It's telling his life story. Born in Oregon, became a cyclist, moved to Europe, attended an Herbalife meeting, and never looked back. Okay, here we go. The personal redemption arc. He paints this like a Netflix origin story, a failed dream, a second chance, and a community that changed his life. This structure is deliberate. It's called the hero's journey, repackaged for recruitment. It's persuasive because it taps into universal emotions: purpose, belonging, transformation. The problem is, in MLMs, those feelings are monetized. It's not that self-improvement is bad. It's that the personal development that he's selling is tied to ongoing product purchases. And because he's the new CEO, that's recruitment at scale, at large scale. So your emotional growth becomes part of the company's revenue stream. And now we're looking at Protocol and Pruvit. And they're doing this so it's going to be spread out with Herbalife downline and Pruvit downline, and it's just gonna be a clusterfuck in my opinion. Holy mother forking shirtballs. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't even know what y'all think. What do y'all think? Holy clusterfuck. No? I don't even know why Herbalife wants Protocol. I can't even call Fred. I don't even think Marge doesn't even want to page Fred right now. How many jobs were junk opportunity meetings? A lot, in my opinion. Holy shit. Dude, I'm pissed. I don't know why I'm so hot. Like, I'm so mad right now. Ah!
Through products and through opportunity and through community. And so I spent 32 and a half years building my business as Herbalife expanded worldwide. I had a chance, I was young, I traveled the world, went to different markets, different cultures. And so through that journey, got to a level in the company that is one of the top levels in the company. And going through 3 decades of an industry and seeing how the world changed. And I hate to...
Dude, how old is this guy? 1991, he's 22. 2001, he's 32. 2011, he's 42. 2021, he's 42. He's only in his 40s? Interesting.
To do this because it really kind of dates me, but there was a time.
Dude, you're only 42. What do you mean it dates you? You're basically a baby. You're basically a baby.
Time before cell phones, right? There was a time before.
It is peanuts to Herbalife.
The internet and
social
FaceTime
media,
all of the opportunities that we have today. And seeing the changes.
Why are they all wearing the same
Number
shoes?
one, from a technology and how it impacted.
Y'all, we're at 39 likes, which is one odd number and another odd number. And it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing to look at if it was a different day, if it was a different skin issue, if it was a different... I may have to go put on a sweatshirt. I know I look crazy right now. Oh, I wish I wasn't. I wish today would have been one of those days where I wouldn't be streaming, because I need to stim so badly. Oh, that's okay. Do I have a stim toy? No. Should I get a sweatshirt? No. Am I gonna overheat if I put a sweatshirt on? Yes. I don't even know where I would have put my stem toy. Rip. Well, live chat. Nice knowing y'all. The unsubscribe button is down there somewhere.
The industry and the opportunity, but also seeing the changes from a health and wellness opportunity and from a weight loss opportunity. And
health and wellness and weight loss. There's more to health and wellness, dude. How's your sleep? How's your water intake? How is your food intake? How's your carbohydrate intake after you have therapy, or or maybe before you have a big workout the next day? What does your blood work look like? How's your blood pressure? How's your high cholesterol? How do your vitamin levels look like? How's your iron? I don't know. how's your vision? How's your stress levels? Mine are awful right now. I think I need to buy another puzzle ring. I had one when I was a kid. We were on I'm sorry I'm doing so many side trails, but I don't have very much self-control today, and I know we went on a big one yesterday, which I knew was like leading up to today. But we were at a family, what was it called? Reunion when I was a kid in North Carolina. And there were like permanent vendors there, but my parents got me, I didn't know I was autistic then, but my parents got me a puzzle ring. And I used to do it all the time because stimming, but I didn't know what that was. So I would undo it and I would do it and I'd undo it and I'd do it. And I don't know, like, I had it for several years, so I don't know what happened. I think I lost it at a museum because I was like undoing it and doing it. And this is embarrassing to say, but I'm terrified of butterflies. But I'm like, maybe that is an adult stim toy that I could do in public. Apologies. All you need is vitamin D, right? Yeah, Champy is somewhere else.
So living through the 3 decades and having experienced building a business with Herbalife, and then understanding that our industry overall and the opportunity overall, the landscape was changing, and that it was really time to look and be forward thinking about how do we approach the next 10 and 20 years. And so the opportunity when it came to step into a role to be a part of the company, I just couldn't say.
Wait, he said that he was in Herbalife for 30 years and he started when he was 22, but he's only 42. So how could he have been in for 30 years? 22, 91, he's 22. 2001, he's 32. 2011, he's 42. Oh, he's 52? Never mind. I'm wrong. My math is bad.
No.
He's 56. Thank you, Amy. Amy's like, let me help you with the math.
Because
yep. Amy's helped me out.
Opportunity come? Because I mean, it's a unique story, right? So like 32 years in the field as a distributor, right? One of the top earners, right, over that period of time. A very successful business.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, right, to a CEO seat. Like
I was wrong. I missed a number. I used to be good at math, and one of my medications, just one of the delightful side effects.
Complete shift in lifestyle.
Total shift in a lifestyle. Yeah. I mean, one of the beauties of being a distributor is you control your life to a certain extent. You work when you work, you travel when you travel, you work with who you want to work with.
Thank you, Amy.
And so I think really how it came about, the first opportunity probably goes back about 13 years ago, where, you know, Michael Johnson, who came into the company after Mark Hughes, and Michael came from a background of president of Disney, was an entrepreneur, worked with one of the biggest brands in the world. Yeah. And when he came to Herbalife, you know, he really took Herbalife to the next level from just a brand perspective.
Well, outsider looking, and all of a sudden you have Herbalife on, you know,
David Beckham
and Cristiano and the Galaxy, and you know, I mean, I remember watching that all of a sudden, you know, the building that we're in right now in the heart of LA.
Yeah, and then there was so much in the background, this, the seed to feed. I mean, at the time that he stepped into Herbalife, maybe Herbalife was 800 employees, taking it to over 8,000 employees. We probably manufactured 97% of our products outside, third-party manufacturing, not totally, but vertically integrated, everything, seed to feed, and really just brought Herbalife to a point where, his thing was Main Street. Like, let's take Herbalife and actually put it on the jerseys and make it a household name, the same way Disney became a household name. And so his impact, and then our friendship, and just working as a top leader, because he worked very closely with the top leaders, about 14 years ago, he was like, why don't you think about coming into the company? And I was at Chairman's Club at the time. I'm like, and I knew how hard they worked. And I didn't see a need, quite honestly, for it. And so I was kind of like, and for a hot minute I thought about it, but it was like, I really enjoy my life. Then, and it's not it's about kind of speaking in a certain way but we did have a couple of people that succeeded Michael. And so when Michael was coming back for his third time as CEO, so his three-peat, and at the time I was stepping onto the board, or just prior to coming onto the board, he said, if I come back, will you come in?
Wow. That's a big conversation.
Yeah, it's a big conversation. It's one of those kind of, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I didn't have any reason not to. And I also knew if I didn't take the role and didn't step in, then I would forever have to hold my peace on what I thought Herbalife could become, and what kind of strategy we should do, and what kind of moves the company should make, and how we should do things for distributors. So it was kind of like in that moment, a moment of truth for me. It was like, either shut up, or step up, one of the two. And so,
shut up or step up. Like, I'm gonna color, and then I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna color. Shut up or step up. My God. I don't know. My body feels so weird right now. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like having a meltdown. In MLM, we've heard this so much, and I know like he's talking about this in a CEO position coming from a distributor position, but I think you've been in multi-level marketing for 30, however long years. He's 56. So he's in the brainwash position at the top of his own pyramid, but that line right there, it sounds bold, but it's actually like a silencing mechanism for himself, but also for others. If you don't like how things are done, step up or be quiet. It reframes questioning leadership as weaknesses or weakness, and that's how you create compliance through culture, not policy. And when someone who's benefited from the comp plan for 30 years becomes CEO, it's not innovation, it's consolidation of power. And Stephan now controls the narrative and the money flow, and that's not a new era, that's the same hierarchy with a new face, in my opinion. So let's continue. I think, and again, he has been soaking in the MLM for 30 plus years. So he's been trained in the high control group for 30 plus years. So that's who they've got now. A trained multi-level marketing Cultian. Hi, Ginger. The phrase is put up or shut up, my dude.
The lifestyle change that you're talking about, it is tremendous. going from a founder circle to, chief strategy officer, president, and CEO. But the passion for Herbalife, it's the same. Mm-hmm. It's just now that passion gets to be put into energy and focus and direction to make a bigger impact. As a distributor, I always had an opportunity to make an impact. Now it's a bigger impact. So, which is part of the reason why, I think all of this came together. And yeah, so that's the story.
I mean, I'd say probably the biggest reason that we're all sitting here. And I wish everybody, watching this could see the whole wall behind us. It's my favorite part of this whole building.
Where's
and
the B-roll?
For those out there, you might be able to see, we have a giant wall lit up that, goes across this entire room that is the timeline of Herbalife. And you mentioned Mark Hughes, like the very beginning, and everybody, no matter what company, like everybody knows the story and the legend of Mark Hughes, right? He wasn't just the founder of Herbalife, he really pioneered a lot of what this channel has become today. And then you go through the history and, Jim Rohn, right? Kind of was birthed out of these walls, and, now that ripple has impacted so many of us. I mean, us as well, just as leaders. But I love kind of fast forwarding and seeing now your photo on the end. So it's like it started with this distributor heart and vision, and now this new era, right, is with your story bringing us there. So I mean, I do think it's rare, inspirational, and I think it's a huge reason why we're both here. And Brian, kind of same question over to you. I mean, obviously, decades in the
Brian, are you not getting a lot of questions because of the lawsuit? Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes is the guy who started Herbalife. Jim Rohn is a big MLM trainer, like a self-help person. I mean, this whole thing, the whole wall of what Blake Mallon, and I don't know why Blake is kind of leading this, because Blake allegedly avoided getting served 10 times for his own, lawsuit, allegedly. And then Brian is getting sued for schmexual schmassault. But the whole legacy thing, like, super leans, this whole part leans a ton on legacy. Founders become saints, stories become scripture, and criticism gets framed as disrespect, and that happens everywhere. But that's founder mythology, and it's incredibly common in multi-level marketing. I've seen it. Young Living, Donald Gary Young, people call him Dr. Young. He wasn't a doctor. Invoking the past doesn't validate the present. We've been around, whatever. Herbalife's been around for 45 years doesn't mean we're ethical. It just means you've survived regulation long enough to pivot your image over and over and over again. We were reading about all the times you've been sued. You've just survived. You've paid your way out of admitting wrongdoing a ton of times. Come on, dude. Nick. Yep.
Industry, different path. Maybe for those that don't know your full story, the personal life kind of pre-direct selling, and maybe a little bit of what has led us to where we're at today.
Yeah, pre-direct selling. You don't want to know that story. You don't want to know that story. You don't want to know that story.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think the story's amazing, right? You look at the timeline, and I hear Stephan's timeline, and I think we all have a timeline in life. Like, if you kind of go back to how all of our lives have progressed, it's pretty amazing to see what doors and decisions, kind of the butterfly effect, get us to where we are. And so as you're talking about your journey, obviously we're probably all thinking about our journey. And if you would have told me back in 1992, I came up very privileged. I had a mom and dad who always encouraged me to believe in my dreams and to, go for it, basically. My dad was an entrepreneur and a CPA, and I played sports and basketball my whole life. So, a lot of personal development, I think, is really integrated into athletics. I think athletics are one of the best things young people can get involved with, whether just in terms of learning how to deal with adversity, being a good teammate, discipline. And in my high school, one of my high
Sir? We're listening to you say this? Have you... Sir? Are we really listening to Brian Underwood say this right now? Have y'all listened to Aaron's video? Have y'all listened to Aaron's video on this situation? This situation? You're listening to this guy talking about personal development in sports? Developing character? I'm not really having a filter today. I have big feelings that are not really harnessed today. I am not really harnessing my core values in a way that are fitting in with my I don't know, my governor. You're talking to these guys and having these reasonable conversations and presenting yourself as some kind of person that is respectable and talking about how you came from a privileged position and that sports really helped your development and you ended up the type of person allegedly that we read about in the civil lawsuit and the type of person we learned about in other situations, and you try to paint yourself as a type of person who let me ask you a question. You've got kids. Would you truly be okay with your boys growing up to be somebody like you? That's my question. I'm really angry right now.
School basketball coaches got involved in a company called Excel Telecommunications. And it was kind of my first venture on entrepreneurship. I heard him with a flip chart turning over pages, talking to my dad about making some extra income. And I was just eavesdropping on it. And, at the time you're in college, I was in college, and you're starting to want to be more independent, wanted more money than I had. And my dad basically said, this isn't for me. And when Coach Hallmark left, I went over to my dad and said, hey, can I do that? And I remember my dad pausing for a minute and saying, yeah, I think it would be good. I think one of the reasons is he thought, as a young man, it's going to be great for you to get out there in the real world, to get some no's. And I just took it serious. I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of like you see a vision and you see people that are achieving, and that's what I wanted. And I became successful with that company at the age of 20 or 21 years old. And I didn't really have the approach of business. I just looked at it as talking to people about telecommunications at the time and saving them money on their long distance.
Yep.
And my journey is a little bit different than Stephan's. And I think that from a perspective of, I fell in love with the personal development side of it. And the ability, I always say that in college, I was very fortunate to walk on a basketball team that had 11 guys that went from at the University of Kentucky to playing college to playing in the pros. And
that's a lot from one team. Yeah, that's yeah.
And so, I really, telecommunications kind of had this fall, and I didn't know that companies went out of business. Had no idea, And so I just thought, literally at the age of 23, I got making, some really good income, and I thought I was retired. Like I thought, this is it for me. Like I'm not going to work, that's how kind of naive I was at a young age. But the journey's been incredible.
Yep.
And, it's kind of taken me, I think the number one thing that's kind of an illusion sometimes in life is this word called stability. It's you.
Here's the thing. People allegedly who do things to other people that allegedly are criminal in nature, like schmexual, schmassault, can pass background checks because nobody files a police report. And it is very scary to file one sometimes because of the filing process, what Rob from Law and Lumber has said, because he does family law, is to get a family law lawyer to go with you. Because, that's your own decision. People allegedly who do things allegedly. People who allegedly do schmexual, schmassault continue to do this because nobody files, because they're scared, rightfully so, because they're threatened, because when they've tried to file, they're uncomfortable because of the filing process, because of where they've had to file, because of the process of facing their accuser in court, because there's a lot of different reasons. It is traumatic to have to There's a lot of different reasons. It's difficult. So allegedly, if somebody can pass a background check, for example, if there's somebody similar to, let's say, his age, and can pass a background check, allegedly, it is because, and potentially has things in their history that extensively go back decades, allegedly, it is because nobody has ever reported it. That's all. Sorry, I don't feel like I'm adding any value.
We all have to create stability within ourselves, but also sometimes, there's going to be fluctuations. Business is business no matter what industry you're in. And so, I experienced some ups and downs, ebbs and flows with not every company stays into business. And it actually kind of led me on my journey. I never sought out. And if you would have told me, 33 years? I mean, if you really take a look at just us sitting here together, it's about 100 years worth of experience.
That's a lot.
In the same industry, the same channel, and all of us have played every role that you could play.
That is actually.
Wait, does that mean we're all old? Are you saying we're all old?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of years.
Oh, me. It seems like yesterday. But if you would have told me you could write a script, because you all hear the Mark Hughes story, right? The Amway and the Herbalife, that was what everyone aspired to in the 90s. And if you would have told me I could write a script on my entrepreneurial journey, that I'd be sitting in this building, collaborating in a partnership to reinvent into what I really call transform or transcend the market, really kind of where I think the trajectory of Herbalife was, to where when people looked at the brand, they identified it with impact. They didn't identify it as a sector of what the industry is. I always use Nike as an example. Nike is a brand that people have an emotional association to. They don't even know where it started. They just just do it. But it started with a guy literally just gluing waffle iron rubber soles to soles of shoes. It wasn't even a shoe company at the time. But today, it's inspired people to become better versions of themselves. And that's really kind of been my passion along my journey. Was this is a platform for anyone, our industry and our channel, to really not only become the best version of themselves and grow, but also have a financial component to, as they grow, they can earn from the same platform. And that's super unique. Usually you have to do it in two separate components. And so for me, my journey was a little bit different in terms of I never really wanted to get on the ownership side. But if you would have told me where my journey started, that we would be here with what I think is the biggest infrastructure to be able to really make massive impact, it would have been a dream come true. And so I got introduced, the company I was with was kind of up and down, went out of business. I ended up getting introduced to our partner, Terry LaCour. And,
up and down, you got closed down.
I was really frustrated because...
You got closed down, my guy. You got closed down. Y'all, if you don't know, Brian Underwood got shut down. Hold on. It was Rip Burn Lounge. It was Burn Lounge, which was shut down by the FTC for being a pyramid scheme. The Ripon website contains no information about who owns or runs the business and only provides visitors with the following message. Ripon CEO Brian Underwood taking it to the next level. Burn Lounge, hold on. Burn Lounge, Brian Underwood, FTC pyramid scheme. Well, I'm trying to find it so I can read it to y'all. Sorry. Burn Lounge was launched in April 2007, and by June the same year, the FTC had filed a lawsuit alleging the company to be a pyramid scheme. The case concluded in January 2012 with a judge declaring Burn Lounge to indeed be an illegal pyramid scheme. Tribble named Underwood as having previously been involved in Burn Lounge as a master distributor and the national sales director of local AdLink, and all these are associated with each other. Ripon Market, what they call the Ripon app, it's an application for mobile devices with which users can communicate with each other, interact with advertising, and buy third-party affiliate offers and other apps through. The Ripon Compensation Plan, referred to as the core strategy of the Ripon Compensation Plan, Ripon affiliates recruit free affiliates referred to as fans and then get them to do the same. I'll just put this in the chat so y'all can look at it. But to essentially, Brian saying, "Oh, it just didn't work out." Yeah, the FTC says it was a pyramid scheme. Okay, in my opinion, it's disingenuous for him to say, "Oh yeah, it didn't work out." No shit, Sherlock, it didn't work out. Say it with me. Pyramid scheme, okay? A pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme, okay? Pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme, from what I understand.
As a distributor, the word transparency is used a lot today. It wasn't back then, but...
I'm sorry, did you just say transparency, Brian? Blake? Brian and Blake are doubling down on transparency. Are we in the Twilight Zone?
I never knew what was going on. I remember one of the company leaders talking to the field distributors as the company was getting into trouble, saying, "Well, we need to spin this to the field." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you stop.
Spin this to the field is, and so I literally was just dejected, and someone introduced me to Terry, a good friend of mine, and said, "You just need to meet this guy." And Terry goes, "Well, you're not going to be happy unless, control your own destiny. Mm-hmm. Let's do something together." And I was like, "Well, I don't know anything about starting a company." He goes, "It's okay, I do. I know the operation side. You have the marketing side. You do."
Dude, you can sit You're sitting down, but like literally, you're saying this with a straight face. I literally cannot. Oh my God.
You do great. I'll do what I do great. And, that was about 14 years ago.
Wow.
And that's been a great learning lesson. And that's got us to, when we launched Pruvit and we're able to commercialize the technology that we did, is keeping the focus around people, keeping the focus around impact. And
I mean, your focus was around people. Your focus was around people, Brian. Maybe it was around people in the wrong way, dude. In my opinion. I can't help but think, if the lawsuit goes forward, and I hope that I do hope the truth comes out. And if the information comes out, to what I know of it, I sure think that things would have been different if Brian Underwood had kids who were girls. I think, and maybe I'm wrong, because I don't think that you can have core values. Maybe Brian Underwood wouldn't have had different core values, in my opinion. But sometimes your perspective changes and how you treat people allegedly changes when you have a certain proximity to empathy, allegedly. When you think, maybe I would have treated people differently, because I might have realized allegedly that these people are somebody's kids. These people are somebody's daughters. Allegedly.
Personal development is, we all have a dream, and, some people lose sight of
Dude, the texture on that jacket, I'm not going to be able to look at the screen, okay?
it along the way, but it's in there. Mm-hmm. Proving it means to demonstrate it's real. It's meaning to take an action.
Oh, you took action, my guy.
And so, sitting here to me is just, like I said, it's a lot of people have a misunderstanding of acquisition. They think it's, someone's selling out to cash out, or,
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting, the sale of the company aligning with a civil suit. I don't think things are coincidental. I don't. I think things are intentional.
But there's a lot of different reasons why to partner, and I believe that we were able to take our vision, as you came on and partnered with us, to a lot.
And they're not buying Pruvit; they're buying protocol. And you said you can't buy protocol without Pruvit. I think maybe I'm wrong. It's interesting. He's talking about, I think, Brian sharing his rise from nothing story and how he built Pruvit after other MLMs failed, which is rich, because that story, it's a stretch. That story is a stretch. This is the I failed my way to success story, another MLM classic. The irony is he admits earlier that companies spin things to the field. That's MLM speak for, we lie to the reps to keep them positive. Then he says, Pruvit was born out of the wanting of transparency, which sounds nice, except the structure is identical to the ones that fell apart. I think it's what a lot of us in anti-MLM, I mean, we say different names, but moral laundering, pointing out what's wrong with MLMs, pretending yours is different, and doing the exact same thing with better branding. Except, I mean, is Pruvit's branding really that good? It's better than Vermiglow's. It's better than Nueva's. God. Nueva's is like what's that cruise ship coloring in Target? The clothing that you're supposed to get when you go on a cruise ship? That's what it's like. Different core values. Definitely different core values. I mean, everyone has different core values, and not everyone's going to have the same core values, that's for sure.
Level, but I think our vision was bigger than what we had.
You know, Herbalife, for what it is, I think Stephan is reading into the bullshit of Blake and Brian. Because he isn't talking, you can see some of the way that he is watching. This is just my perspective. I think he sees some of the bullshit, and I think Blake is trying to prevent some of the attention from himself, in my opinion, because Blake and Brian have some legal, maybe gentle legal metaphorical targets on their legal backs.
The engine or the infrastructure or the legs to support to broaden our impact and to go further faster. And so this wasn't sought out. And, you know, I think you're a big component, Blake, and your ingenuity, your ability to connect people, and your passion for everyone in our channel, in our industry is really why we're sitting here.
Love bombing. Tell me he's not love bombing. Raise your hand in the chat if you think he's love bombing, because I think he's love bombing. Replay crew, I'm sorry that you're watching this without, I don't know, throw a squirrel in the chat. We miss you.
And so I want to, first of all, thank you, because we wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for your ambition to just connect with incredible people like Stephan. And you sought out that relationship, and it was really just a relationship of people coming together. Wait a minute.
I sought out the relationship.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Brian, you don't know what you're talking about. Herbalife wanted protocol, BT dubs. Brian doesn't know what he's talking about because Brian's checked out because maybe Brian is focused on a certain lawsuit, BT dubs. Oh, wait, allegedly, in my opinion. Hello? Look at all their cute matching shoes.
Brian,
Well, he was excited about it. He was excited about it.
We'll get there. We got to tell that story.
We'll tell
get to
this
that
story.
yeah.
But so you said something that I think is
Lisa,
really important.
Hero.
You said the vision that you had for the future, like with Pruvit, and then being able to do what you wanted to do with it. Like, we wouldn't be here if you hadn't had, and you guys hadn't had the vision, actually, because it was the vision that captured our attention, right? Because of where you were going, how you were seeing the future of health and wellness, the platform that you were building. So
how do you have vision? Allegedly, can I ask you a question? I just want to ask you a question. Can I just ask you a question? How do you have vision? What's the vision when you how do you have vision for health and wellness when you are allegedly having allegedly allegedly. What's the vision like when you're so focused on being the scum of the fucking earth, allegedly, and being a predator, in my opinion, and taking advantage of women, allegedly. How would anyone claim that you have any kind of good vision when you take advantage of women to coerce them when they have genuine requests in the business setting at Pruvit? How would anyone even claim that you have any kind of vision, allegedly? I'm asking for a friend. Actually, I'm just asking for everyone on the internet. Allegedly. How would someone ever claim that somebody would have vision when they're forcing themselves on other people, allegedly? Can you just answer me that question? What type of person would be able to say, oh yeah, that guy, that person, they've got vision, but they're a predator? Can you just help me out there? Can somebody help me out? Thank you, Deborah. At what point are strong people going to stand up and say, I'm not going to do business with people who take advantage of other people? Like, I'm just curious, like, at what point are strong people in positions of power, going to say, I'm not going to put you in a position where you get to have access to people you could take advantage of. And guess what? You lost access to everything that you could have had here because it's my job to protect my employees from predators. Where are, like, those people? And how come, like, people like me who have no power cannot communicate that to people that do have power? I don't understand. It doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair. I mean, even setting aside the idea of calling it something like late stage capitalism, there's people that, like, could make a decision to say, hey, you know what? We made a business decision, but I have employees and I have kids, and I've seen this, and I've seen
what you do behind closed doors, or I've seen what you do at company events. I see what you do at parties, and we're not doing business anymore. You don't get access to my employees. You don't get access to whatever. Like, you can, like, I don't want to cry anymore. I know, but like, people at the top have pivoted towards integrity before. They've done it. People with power and money have done it before. I just don't know why they won't. I don't understand. I'm confused.
You know, the vision is what made things happen. I mean, and so this is not like that vision was going to happen. The speed at which and the size at which it can happen because of the partnership now, this is next level. But what I'm really impacted by is, number one, we all came through having found the opportunity of direct sales, network marketing. Like we were all exposed, and you're going to tell your story in a second because it's amazing. You guys have both lived founding or co-founding companies as owners. You know, I've never experienced that. So that's one thing that you guys, I never, I'm one company, 34 years now, never experienced anything. Haven't experienced also not having the control and being in a company and then the company going away, right? Or the leaders of the company saying, hey, let's spin something, right? And the destiny being in the hands of someone else. I've always been lucky because we've never gone through that in Herbalife. Even when the hard times came, the battles came, like the company fought through, always did what was right. So I think there's something that's special there, but hearing kind of the stories, it just, number one, it makes me think this industry is freaking incredible, first of all. From a life-changing, individual opportunity finding, I mean, this is proof right here. Now, not everyone has that level of success. Not everyone is going to start a company, found a company, grow a company, or join a company and be in a company for 34 years. So I think that the industry is amazing and gives amazing opportunity. But I think it's also something special within individuals because not everyone accomplishes the same level. So I wanted to kind of throw that out there because as two founders, that's a big deal. To go from nothing. And just going back to Mark Hughes, who founded Herbalife, like nothing. Like, and he says, he's from the back, trunk of his car, the first customer, the first distributor, and building from the ground up. Yep. I mean, that's something I've never experienced, and both of you have. So it's just huge. And I think that this is all meant to be. And there's a lot of power in the 93 years.
Is that what it is? 93 years?
Yeah. For you, I mean,
totally resonate with what you're saying on like an entrepreneur's dream, and the more that I see within kind of these walls, and it's not even walls, right? I mean, the global community, the bigger that vision or that dream gets of like what we really have here and what this can be and will be. But I didn't even connect the dots until I was hearing you tell your story. I was focused on like Stephan's story is so awesome, like 30-year distributor into CEO. We all started in the same place. So you talk about founder, but we actually all started
distributors
in the field,
yeah.
and none of us had planned on going into the ownership, founder, or executive side. It just sometimes doors open the way they're meant to.
Are we all supposed to be retired by now? Yes. Sitting on a beach somewhere and just like
it is. So for me, it was. I mean, and I'll date myself as well. It was an AOL instant message in my college dorm room, and UC SD that led me to my first opportunity conversation, and started in the field, and it was just like you. It was personal growth. growth. It wasn't even the financial opportunity for me. It was really, I fell in love with the growth aspect, the people that were thinking differently. And then you can only be around an environment like that for so long before you learn a thing or two and you start to think differently, and then you get different results. And then 5 years in, I did think I was retired. I'm probably like most of us. And then the company went out of business. So similar to Brian's journey, actually it was the same telecom kind of bubble, right? And then deregulation, different companies, but same season. And then that put me on the ownership side out of necessity. It wasn't a desire. It was trying to actually save something because we'd spent years building a vision, right, that people were following. And then that became, right, the brand that I helped co-found. And then that went through every season, from scrappy startup to almost out of business and recession to a crazy multi-year momentum, and everywhere in between. And then ultimately is what introduced me to Brian, right? And Terry, a little over 5, we're coming up on 6 years. Yeah. It's interesting because one company, 34 years. Yeah. Bunch of up and downs, but Pruvit now 10 years, 10 years, right? 10 years, a decade. For me, it's an interesting story because technically it's only been one company. It's just the company I got started in, went out of business, got acquired, became a company we founded. That company went up, down, all around, then became Pruvit, and now it's become Herbalife.
You're probably...
So I'm actually only one company. It just had a bunch of different jerseys. But between the three of us, it is interesting perspective in the channel. But you both alluded to something on like what led us here. And Brian, I want to piggyback where you kind of left off, because when the news hits the press and you hear like acquisition, companies coming together, you get everybody assuming, right? And this is the first conversation since a press release, right? That we've actually had real dialogue directly from the sources of like why, what this means, where this is going. So I think it's a real opportunity to just give the candid truth, right, behind what has led us here.
Yeah. I would love just to kind of hear that perspective of, number one, why Herbalife never looked at acquisitions, and then like why now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and even and the story of even how we got here, right? So from your perspective,
so a couple of things that I'm present to. Number one is I think we're all here because we want to make an impact, right? You said you became, you acquired from a distributor because you wanted to save the company. And the reason why you wanted to save the company was because you cared about the people, right? And when you care not only about the people, but you, from a distributor standpoint, but also the people that you're going to impact, when you acquire a technology or you find something that can make an impact, right? So I think it's, and again, I don't want to say it's unique, but I think it's pretty unique, okay, that we are all here and have gone through everything that's gone through 33 years, 34 years, 26 years, right?
That's a lot.
And all of the things that people could have walked away from and gone and done something else or cashed out or just gone into something, because there's a lot of ways to make money, but sticking to this industry to make an impact is the thing. And so, Brian, I can't speak for the previous 40 and when I was a distributor.
Right.
And I think Herbalife, one of the things, and maybe from the outside looking in, we never really focused on what was happening outside from an industry standpoint. And to be honest with you, you talk a lot about channel and it's strange because now that we are in other conversations, you realize that actually there is a whole channel.
There's a whole channel.
There's a whole industry.
It was actually inspired by, I would say, Amway and Herbalife.
Right.
It became a channel because of the
That's true.
the pioneership that.
Right, and I think the channel there's been, if I'm not mistaken, like literally thousands of companies.
Oh yeah.
That have over 40 years, right, have come on, and unfortunately, a lot of stories that you experienced. But you guys also took responsibility and said, listen, not only am I going to be kind of impacted by whatever happens in the channel, I'm going to take responsibility to make sure that we can have control.
Fuck this shit. What'd you take responsibility for? You took responsibility for your company? What about the responsibility to act like a good human being? What about a good human being that recognizes the inherent value in other human beings and not taking anything from other human beings that doesn't belong to you? Hmm? Yes, he is, Murray. This conversation is wild.
Right. And so, I think number one, can't speak to the past, but we never looked at other companies as a strategy. And we never would have looked at this opportunity as a strategy either. The only reason why it came about was because there was an alignment. And when Michael asked if I would come into the company, after coming back his third time, he understood that there was a need to modernize. He's a visionary, 2 decades. Mark Hughes started it 2 decades, Michael 2 decades, a little bit more. But Michael, even today, I receive texts from him at 3 a.m. from some news, Axios. Hey, did you see this is happening in the industry?
Going.
I've never seen someone so curious about everything, but also understanding that the world is changing and it's time to change, and you need that change, that leadership change to come. So the reason why it came about is because one of the things that we were looking at for the first time as a company that kind of was, and big, right? So $5 billion, 95 markets, second largest in the industry, never really was too outside facing, but one of the first things that happened when I came in, became a board member, is I'm like, look, I want to go to one of these industry events. I think to not be paying attention to what's happening in the industry, that's probably not the right thing. We're big, yes. We're number 2, yes. But there's a lot of things outside. And a lot of times smaller companies, it's like the speedboat compared to the cruise ship. And especially when you look at a company that's 45 years old, where it's the same marketing plan for 45 years, where the products, obviously technology changes and you're always updating, but you should be looking at how things are happening in the industry. And so that's really how we got connected, because, for the first time, probably in a long, long time, even as a board member, I'm like, I got to go to one of these industry events. I want to know, I want to hear. And there were things that we were experiencing inside of Herbalife that I just wanted the verification of what was happening outside. Was it internal to us?
Yeah, they are number 2.
To our company, to
Truly.
our business, to our...
They are a huge company. They are, let me see. They are... They are, I think they're number 2. I know Amway's number 1. Oh, Nature is number 2, I think. Herbalife's number 3. Amway's 8.8 billion, Natura is 6.91 billion, and Herbalife is 5.10 billion. So they're close. They're close, number 2.
Market to, or was it really something that was market wide? And so that was probably the first eye-opening piece. So going and actually going out there. And that's where I heard different people speaking about the solutions to what was going on. And quite honestly, I attended a CEO forum as well, where it was hearing CEOs and what they were living inside of the companies. And so that's how our relationship started.
I think 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. So, number one, and by happenstance, LA based, starting to spend time here, we got connected because there was one particular thing that I was kind of interested in getting your insights, and we just developed a friendship. So I think that was an important move to actually start looking at what's happening outside of the walls of Herbalife. But Brian, it's never been a strategy. It really happened because of the alignment. And the alignment It happened just because the proximity. We started to understand what you guys were up to, what Pruvit was up to, what they were thinking about the industry, where things were going, especially health and wellness, and kind of that vision that you were talking about. So that's really how it came about.
And it's interesting because it was so casual. I mean, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't strategic. I mean, it literally was a dinner over, a social conversation. You know, we started talking about obviously ketones, right, as the category, and Pruvit was and has been the company that really created and led the category of that conversation. We talked a lot about business, and I remember because we were getting into an Uber. I mean, it was the last like 5 minutes.
It was waiting for the Uber to arrive after dinner.
So the point is, always make sure that you have the Uber conversation.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But it was really a biohacking conversation. Because that was the genesis of kind of where the vision of protocol came from.
Well, that was the vision of where even Pruvit came from, right? I got a podcast with Dr. Dominique D'Agostino on it, being interviewed. Actually, it's a bulletproof podcast. And
you
I think as entrepreneurs, the alignment.
You can't even help giving Blake the stage. You have to say, oh, by the way, ketones. Herbalife didn't want your stuff. Herbalife wanted protocol. David, I didn't get that. I did not get that. Touche.
Here, I have a quote that's on my desk, and it says innovation, because I believe in innovation, but I believe everyone can be an innovator. Innovators, how do you bring additional value to someone that they don't already have? But as an innovator or leading a company through innovation, it says there's one rule. You have to focus on the company that you are. Like, you have to manage where you are, but there's always
allegedly was the innovation one of the things that you are being sued for in the civil lawsuit? Is that the innovation you're talking about? No? Okay, I'm just asking some questions. I'm confused. I'm confused about all of the inspirational quotes that you're talking about here and what you're being sued for. I'm confused. I'm confused.
These two things taking place. You also have to manage and focus on the company you're becoming, because we're always becoming. And if we don't have our eyes set on what we're becoming, then we'll get kind of left behind. And even in the last, when we started this whole biohacking conversation, was very
early. Pruvit was
small.
Way early. Yeah.
But because of technology, the awareness to the general public and even in the last 3 years, has exponentially grown. And that's really where we started talking about, okay, we have this technology that's been a core, really component of, I would say.
Don't you even dare. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get emotional. I thought Jesse Lee was had very dangerous ideas about health and wellness. I thought that, and I agree, I would protect everyone's right to do with their health as you will. I'm not interested in controlling anyone's power to pursue your own health care plan. I think that you have to balance out your influence as someone who has authority if you are a public figure. I think you have to go the extra step to say, this is my decision, that I am not a doctor. You have to balance out the weight of your authority sometimes to make sure that people remember that you are not that what you're saying is not gospel. Setting that aside, Brian saying that, claiming that ketones somehow took off without Jesse Lee Ward after he said the disgusting things he did at her memorial that was Zoomed, that I heard, and what and how selfish and self-focused he was. After all of the money that she made him. And y'all can say, like, it's MLM. They're dangerous products. There's metal in them. For him to claim that ketones somehow took off because people realized how great they are, is so lacking any honesty, which we know he is not an honest person. I'm upset because one of my core values is honesty, and the things that I've seen him do rub against my core values. Crying is regulatory for me. I understand that emotions are signposts for core values. For him to take the credit is gross. Right. Power to make their own healthcare decisions. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm crying. If you watch Jesse Lee Ward's celebration of life, I watched it. I got the Zoom link for it. Brian Underwood was disgusting. What he said. He's such a selfish human being. And that's coming from me. I have empathy. I have none for him. I have none for him. Zero.
Say biohacking.
Yep.
Giving your body an additional real fuel source, almost like a macronutrient.
Stop.
But health and wellness is going so much further, faster, quicker than we could ever imagine. And the wealthy have been taking advantage of it.
The wealthy have been taking advantage of it. They're literally shifting the conversation into biohacking, connecting it to the elite. God, whatever. Fuck you. He's on the fuck you list. I don't care.
And spending hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars on all of this technology. So I think we all had that alignment of like,
where it was
wow.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you guys were ahead. I mean, ketones, just because of cycling, by the way.
Yeah.
I had heard about it because the professional cycling, Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, Tour de France.
Tour de France. So I think you guys were ahead in terms of the conversation. And I think it caught up, right? And it's starting converging from everywhere. And again, you talked about, are we old? 56 is the new 36 as far as I'm concerned. And biohacking is going to help to kind of extend that. But I think that was when we started to have the conversation around biohacking and where we were going. It was kind of like, so we're on the same path. Because that was kind of the Uber conversation.
That was waiting for the Uber conversation.
connecting the biohacking to elite sports and like ketone performance, like biohacking. I mean, we've been around biohacking for years and years. We've been listening to it. I've been listening to it since Jesse Lee transferred from Modere to, she got terminated from Modere and went to Pruvit. But it sounds futuristic, but most of it is pseudoscience with a fancy label. We've heard it debunked from Aaron. Keto supplements do raise ketone levels temporarily, but there's no credible human evidence that drinking them replicates the effects of a ketogenic diet or improves long-term health. That we're ahead of the curve narrative. It's a marketing spin. It positions hype as proof. And that's fuckery. Real science isn't afraid of peer review, but MLM science lives in testimonials and team calls, and we've seen it over and over and over again. We've seen it in body, we've seen it in, I'm just talking about the you know, oh my God, trust us, bro. We've seen it in Zoom calls. We've seen it in like one-on-ones. I've seen it in, you know, the coffee one-on-ones. I've seen it in calls that people, like when they're trying to recruit me into Young Living. Crying is regulatory. When people tell you to stop crying, crying is regulatory. Crying is morally neutral. Someone tells you to stop crying, you can remind them that crying is morally neutral.
Conversation
It
with
was, you know, and what was interesting is, I mean, let's face it, like, it's a race. Brian, you say this all the time. Like, it's a race, right? It's a race not only within the industry of getting there, but it's a race mainstream getting there. Okay. And by the way, maybe because of who we are and what shows up on our feeds, like, it's not 99% of Americans, they're not having the same thing show up on their feeds, but for a certain audience and it is very mainstream and becoming even more so. And so the whole conversation around the biohacking, that was like, oh, there's a connection here. So we're racing. That was the first thing, because it is a competitive market. And so there was almost this moment of like, okay, do I say too much? Do I not say? But because of the relationship, it was kind of like, okay, let's just, because there was trust, right? Let's spill. Like, okay, so here's what we're thinking. We want to become the world's health and wellness platform. And we've got 2 million distributors and we got 65,000. And this is where we're going. This is how we're looking at things. And then it was like, oh, should we talk about protocol? And I remember, you know, Blake turned to Terry and he's like, should we talk about protocol? It was almost, there was this moment of, should we or should we not? Yeah. And then it was, and I'm like, protocol? I'm like, I think we should talk about it.
We're going to do another meeting.
And so that was, and then it ended with, there's this thing called protocol. Yeah. And we're on this similar path. And then just as an entrepreneur, you know, someone that built and understands, like, you have to jump, you have to move, like, you cannot wait. Like, in this race, you cannot wait.
I mean, you moved fast. I think it was 2 weeks later-ish, or a couple of weeks. So you had your whole executive
conversation. 2 weeks later, we flew down.
Like the whole executive team, right?
Chief
Flies
operating
in.
officer, chief commercial officer, chief doctor. I mean, flew down and it's like, tell us what you have. Yeah. And so that was really.
You wanted to see under the hood, like.
Yeah, but so I think, you know, as much as you were saying, like, this wasn't planned, right? Yeah. I mean, I reached out because it had nothing to do with this, but we developed a relationship, and then there was like, we're on the same path. So let's at least go down the road and see if there's a conversation around, can we do something together? Should we do something together? Is there value in doing something together? Are we aligned enough to do something together? The interest, the vision, and everything. And I think.
And are we both bringing value to the table to each other?
Brian,
Correct.
stop.
And I think that's where it was like, once we clearly saw that there was alignment. By the way, also culturally, as far as the way we look at business, from your stories.
Culturally, you want to align with Brian Underwood? This is the problem. This is the issue. You have all these people, you know they have a bunch of people constantly looking into the backgrounds of every single person on Brian Underwood's team at the Pruvit Ketone headquarters. You know they're doing it. And you're still good with aligning with all them? Herbalife? So you want that protocol so much that you're willing to sacrifice the type of people that you want to connect with. You're willing to say, oh, well, he's not that bad. We're not going to let him near, people. Or we have a good HR team. If he does anything, they'll come to us. Okay. At what point does doing this on YouTube do any fucking thing? One of them is, I think, a Fitbit or like some type of energy recorder, and he's wearing a watch on his other hand. Like it is a movement recorder. Or one of them lets him into locked doors at Herbalife headquarters. Fuck.
Who you are as leaders and what you've experienced and the reason you do things, like cultural alignment is there. There's no question. But it was really the alignment. Like and then just as an entrepreneur, you move fast and like you say it, 1 + 1 makes 11. Like so that's really how it came about. And I think for a company that never had an acquisition strategy per se, like as part of even the size that we are, this one just really made sense. And it was complicated. Not only was it, another company in the industry that we've never ever done an acquisition. It was with a technology that was new and kind of leading technology and something that we had no idea about, with this opportunity of an exclusive technology and energy source and from a worldwide distribution and wanting to bring something exclusive and unique to the market, to a platform which was in development with this particular vision. And although the alignment is, 90% the same from an Herbalife standpoint, just from a operational DMO markets, just direction,
even size,
right? Yeah. So
scale, I guess, would be a better term.
Correct. And then there was the manufacturing piece, right? This opportunity to do something that no other direct sales company and very few other traditional companies even have access to. That's been
go into that a little bit, because people read. I think people know Herbalife. People know Pruvit. People are questioning, okay,
protocol,
what's protocol is the question.
Platform.
And then you got this like link biosciences in the press release. And we don't have to go into everything, but you can talk about manufacturing. Like why that piece?
Yeah. So
they're getting into the weeds a little bit. They're calling it a race. They were calling it a race earlier. They were going in quick. They said they're getting, they went 2 weeks after they met and were talking about protocol, and they're like, it's a race. We got to go fast. Oh, yeah, Holly. Sorry, I was crying again.
hey, what do you do on your channel, DC? And it's like, well, we talk about squirrels, we do polls about candy, and we talk about sandwiches, and I cry a lot. Would you like to subscribe? Sure. Well, we like to unsubscribe, that's for damn sure too. When they call wellness a race, that's urgency framing, or what I call, it's not the FOMO fallacy, it's like the exigency or the exigency fallacy or the, what is it? Hold on. It's the exigency fallacy. Live chat, help me out. Exigency fallacy. You have to make a decision now because the offer is going to go away forever. Speed becomes a substitute for credibility. You'll hear phrases like, you have to move fast or you can't wait to act. That's that emotion, like that rush is meant to override logic. Now, they want to move fast because they want to get that product into their system. And I think what I understand is we're going to do protocol. And they're like, if you don't take Pruvit with it, you don't get protocol. And I think, from what I understand, and this is my guess, and this is alleged, because they saw the lawsuit, the civil suit, coming down the pipeline, and I think Mr. Mallon allegedly has been avoiding a certain lawsuit, allegedly, 10 or so times. Allegedly. But that's neither here nor there. They were like, take Pruvit or else, allegedly. They wanted protocol, they got Pruvit in the deal, and they have 2 years to say no to the deal. That's why they're acquiring Pruvit too. But I don't know. Let's be real. Let's be kind of real. Your health isn't an industry sprint. I mean, it is a little bit in Herbalife. This is a little bit different. We're talking about the acquisition at the top with a multi-level marketing company, the third/second biggest multi-level marketing company in the world, a $1 billion company. We don't even know what protocol is going to be inside of Herbalife. I mean, they may put it on a shelf. They might just put it on a shelf and say, we don't want anyone else to have it. We need to figure out what we're going to do with it. I mean, maybe they're doing this to say, like, is someone going to be interested in it? We don't know. I don't know if, I mean, there is science involved. It's definitely science and sales. It's definitely science and it's definitely sales.
So, well, number one, I believe the universe aligns. Like if you've got a strong vision and mission, and I believe if it's really something that is going to do good for humanity, that the universe is like, we need this. Like, let's open the doors, let's make the connections. And so one of the things that came out of this connection and the relationship and your relationship, both with Terry and, the LaCour ecosystem, really was that there is this manufacturing process that's been in development that really is, and I'll use the word unique because it's unique in the way that it does it, but the opportunity, and this is also the vision, to do a one-to-one formulation for someone, right? Not just saying, hey, we're going to put the best doctors in science together and the best ingredients, and we're going to formulate something that's going to be beneficial to a lot of people, right? So, hey, the best, digestive support product formulated that we can sell to a lot of people, even kind of maybe one for men or one for women or one for this particular thing, or in any type of, area where someone would want some nutritional support, but to actually go to a one-to-one formulation, because there's no one individual out of 8 billion people that are the same.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah. So, without going into a lot of detail, that as an opportunity, when we saw it, was like, wait a minute, this is something that makes the rest of it, make even more sense, and really gives us an opportunity to do something that no one in the industry has. And it's early emerging technology, right? There's a limitation to that machine, but the science and the technology and the uniqueness of it, having
and the intellectual property of even putting everything together in the pieces, that's 10 years. I mean, a decade worth of trial, error, understanding.
Correct. And the data, and now you look at AI and how, things are moving. It's just, so these were strategic acquisitions to position the company to really take advantage of where things are going in the future. And so, I know we'll talk a little bit, maybe bigger vision, but the pieces came together. Yeah. And there's some other pieces as well. I mean, we'll kind of, I don't know if,
it is, and we don't have to go too far down here, but we all use the word, alignment, right? I've known Brian for 5+ years, right? I've had a chance to get to know you over the last 2 and a lot over the last 6 months. And the language and the philosophy and the beliefs are very similar, right? On a values level, right? Kind of faith-based. And like, I believe that. I mean, if we were to tell the full story amongst the three of us of like all the doors that opened, all the things that happened, all the moments, like you said, that kind of led to this, it's unexplainable. Like it's crazy.
Meant to be is the only reason.
Meant to be, and I don't want to.
And everyone's journey's like that. Yeah. Like if you didn't say yes to the
everything's meant to be, Brian. Everything's meant to be, Brian. Explain to me more, sir. What do you mean everything is meant to be? Am I supposed to be like this? This is my problem. I take things very literally, and people don't mean things literally. Listening to people say things literally like this enrages me when I remember that there are civil suits out, and I listen to Brian say things like this.
Coach, or you didn't ask your dad to call him back, would I be sitting here?
Yep.
And then even if you shorten that scale in the last 6 months, and the exciting news is where is this all going in the next 2
100%.
years? And there's a lot of people that are going to be able to say yes, because when I look at this wall, what I think, there was a learning lesson that I had as an entrepreneur, and we were trying to do something very innovative when apps came out, and being able to track people's what we called ripple value, to give people a value of them sharing the apps with other people, because that's how apps truly got distributed. And I remember at the time, we decided to do a viral campaign to build basically an app tracker to assign your ripple value to where you can monetize from your influence in the market. Big vision. And I remember one of our...
How many years ago was that?
14, 13.
That's that was very
14.
early.
Oh,
way early.
That's
It
way
was right
early.
when the Apple opened up the
App Store.
Yeah.
And I remember, a good friend of mine that I enlisted, like Russell Brunson, is like, hey, let's do this together. And I'll never forget our tech guy looking at me as like, because marketing wise, vision wise, we had everything there. I mean, I still believe to this day that platform should exist. But he's like, we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger boat. And what he meant by that is like the scale in which this is going to connect people, you have to have the technology to support it. And in order to have the technology to support it, you have to have the resources to develop it. And so as I sit here and with our initial vision and incubating what people will start learning about pretty soon as a phased rollout of what protocol truly is, right? It's not, it's going to be this evolution is that word kept coming to my mind this time last year as we were developing we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger boat. So as I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the timeline and I'm like,
my brain was just, I'm coloring in my brain is like hamster wheeling. So they're talking about protocol and they're talking about like Terry LaCour and they're introducing protocol and then the revolutionary manufacturing system. I can create that like personalized formulations. We've heard Courtney Shortney talking about it too, but like sometimes you just can't follow what Courtney's saying. And I feel bad for even saying that, but set that to the side for a second. It sounds kind of impressive if you've never watched Theranos, you know the lady with the little pill thing? And she was going to be able to do 400 tests with like 1 drop of blood. And that was like bullshit. And now she's in prison. And she like raised a lot of money. Anyways, that's what this sounds like a little bit. Yeah, Holly, a lot of hype. The protocol thing sounds impressive until you realize there's zero data presented, no peer-reviewed papers, no verified trials, just we're the first to do it. That's techno mystique. Literally, it sounds like Theranos. It literally sounds like it. Using tech buzzwords like AI and personalized science to make untested claims feel futuristic. So if you're promising medical level personalization, you need clinical level oversight. Otherwise, it's just custom vitamins and MLM packaging. Right? Hello? Is that you? It's sure this story sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. And I could be wrong. I would love for someone to give me some good testing information. Elizabeth Holmes. Holly, get it. Get it, Holly. Sure does sound familiar. Sure does sound familiar.
I truly believe all of this is the beginning to impact where wellness is going. And you don't have to listen to.
Are you talking about physical wellness or mental wellness? Mental wellness. You know what's really good for mental wellness? Being a good human and not being an awful human to someone else by doing something to them where they have to sue you in civil court. That really helps their mental wellness. Just if you were wondering, Brian. Just if you were wondering.
All you have to do is like listen to thought leaders, academia,
everywhere,
scientists is talking about where health and medicine and wellness is all converging and going because of understanding and because of real science. It's amazing.
Well, I want to go there, but before just...
Because it's very forward thinking, right? So if you were 14 years ago, like had a vision of where apps were going to go and monetizing, the impact or the influence.
You know what's forward thinking? Not being a douche canoe to, allegedly not being a douche canoe to women. That's forward thinking. Forward thinking is having a perspective that humans have innate value. That's forward thinking. doing, not harming other people. That's forward thinking. Why don't we start with like that as, I don't know, core value? Number 1. That's forward thinking. All y'all, all 3 of y'all, that's forward thinking. Let's start there. And then let's move up from there. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up from the top. Let's redo the foundation and go back up. Okay? Okay.
Someone would have, and actually figuring out a model for it, and then the cost of even hosting the amount of data and everything at that time. Like,
well, yeah, and my whole point was we put on 1.9 million users in 30, 40 days. It crashed the system. We could not, in order to actually, we couldn't recover from it, but it needed tens of millions of dollars to support it, which we didn't have. We were trying to build it on a shoestring.
Yeah. But like, that was very technology forward thinking, right? And how to leverage the network. And I know that in your, past experience, because we've talked, even with the company that you co-founded, there was technology.
Always. Yeah.
Which,
innovation.
But that, like, from a platform standpoint, I think that's one of the reasons why, and again, this is back to the technology of ketones, to what you were thinking 14 years ago, before even apps was a thing the way it is today, right? And,
just because you're smart, and allegedly, just because you have money, doesn't mean that you get to do whatever you want to other people that you think are less smart and have less money than you do. Do you get the picture?
what you had done with Visalis.
Yes. Yep, the app failed. The app was called Rippin'. FTC, I think the FTC got involved with that one. The FTC also got involved with Burn Lounge. Big trouble with that one. I think FTC got involved with Rippin'. Hold on. Let me just double check. Securities fraud, Terry LaCour and the FTC. Much of the confusion and uncertainty surrounding Rippin' can be attributed to the manner in which the creators have marketed the scheme, a silly affiliate NDA, lack of information on the corporate structure and ownership of Rippin', a compensation plan and business model that appears to have not been finalized, nothing concrete on the app the company is supposedly based around, and the list goes on. Despite the company's best efforts to thwart those interested from conducting thorough due diligence into the company, a purported 200,000 plus people have handed over their personal information and signed on. At the time of publication, any and all efforts to acquire specific details on the MLM side of Rippin' have been met with a tin can. We are currently in buzz marketing mode now and not accepting payment from affiliates. So we're not currently disclosing any further type response. Brian Underwood has never been sued or investigated by the SEC. Got it, and thanks for clearing that up. That was one of the
That is one of the notes. Y'all can read it here. That's from Brian Underwood started. That's the ripping thing that they're talking about. The Burn Lounge was this is the SEX discrimination, August 2nd, 2025. That is what I've been talking about. Oh, Riplin, not Rippin. Thank you. This is the sexual assault that I've been talking about. I think I pulled it up there though. Maybe I didn't. Hold on. I put it up there even though I spelled it wrong. Here is Riplin CEO Underwood reviews mobile app network. This is from 12 years ago. Y'all can watch this if you want to. This is his from 12 years ago. And then Burn Lounge. I'm just trying to give you all the links. It's spelled wrong a lot across the web. It's spelled the Rippin or Riplin is spelled wrong a lot across the web, so that's why it's coming up a lot. If you just type in Burn Lounge, it should come up. Hold on. I think I broke my chair. Okay. Burn Lounge and the FTC was a multi-level marketing company focused on selling digital music and offering people the ability to open their own stores. In 2007, the FTC sued Burn Lounge, alleging that it was operating as an illegal pyramid scheme. Here is the Wikipedia, if you just want to look at it quickly. And I can link other stuff later. I just want to finish this video.
Terms of the different tools that you had and what the network that you created even internally, like way ahead of kind of what mainstream was happening. And that is partially when we saw the platform that you guys were developing, Protocol, it was like, these guys are ahead. Mm-hmm. You know, this is, and this was for us because we were on the same pathway. And for us, it was, we were already talking platform. I mean, for us, Vision was world's premier health and wellness company, community, and platform. And the company had invested heavily into the infrastructure and the foundation that was needed. And we were getting to this point of now let's start to think the front facing, the commercial opportunity, the power in the hands of distributors. And that was the timing. And so it's just very interesting to hear you because the innovative aspect of developing the tools and the platform, it sounds like this was something that was kind of just already part of what you were. And the reason why you'd really gone down the pathway of Protocol, which led us to say, okay, we can either go and develop our own, which what they have is probably where we would go, or do we come together and put the pieces together and then do something much bigger and did all of this happen for a reason, right? So that was kind of, sorry to interrupt you.
No, well, keep going. I mean, and you use the words kind of shared vision a lot, and that's what you're describing is we, even though we were at that time, right, on different paths, we had a shared vision of where we wanted to go, which is obviously why we're here. But continue. I mean, I know we have... I know we have a beta, right, kind of set to roll out in July, right, at our extravaganza event. And I know we're kind of sprinting right now for like in October, kind of Q4. But like, talk, what does that mean? Like, talk to us about the shared vision.
Well, why don't we do this? Because what you explained in terms of the vision for the platform, that is what really kind of, I don't want to say convinced, but it was like, that passion, that vision, and I know how it started, when you explained the genesis of it, right? It was like, hey, together with Dr. Ryan, like, what do we need to do with our own personal... So I think that's important because I'm not going to tell the story, but that was the genesis, which is representing millions of people today, but tens and hundreds of millions of people in the future, and then meeting them there where they're going to be, and us building it now. That's the opportunity. So I love the Genesis story because I think it represents, and it represents, it's real. It represents myself. It represents tens of thousands of Herbalife distributors currently in their journey and hundreds of millions of people in their journey. So tell that first, because that one is, and then I'll build on top. But
you're putting it back on us.
Because
you start.
You guys created the platform. You guys created the platform, right?
I think there's so many people that can relate to this, honestly, because how many people do we know that I'm just going to give you like a loose, and I'm going to let you kind of tell the Genesis story because I really do think that it should come from you. But like, just to relatability, how many people right now have tried an ice bath in the last 2 years, right?
That had never tried one before.
Right,
ever.
exactly. Because kind of, this is probably 2 years ago, me, Dr. Ryan, and Blake, we were talking, we had this Core 4 program. We're like, let's just push each other. And so I bought a cold plunge, Blake bought a cold plunge, but it all.
Oh, God.
It was in the spirit of us becoming better. Like what are the little things that we can do to give ourselves an edge, to feel better longer, as we're, if you want to say getting older, but I think it doesn't matter what age someone is. So that right there, logically, and if people haven't done it, they've thought about doing it. I mean, I'm just telling you, how many people do we know? So if you want to really look at the genesis of it, I think that it really starts personally with even you have on a Whoop band. I have on an Oura ring.
So it's a loop band.
I'll just never forget, really, we're looking at innovation as Pruvit. And by the way, we weren't shopping Pruvit. Our intention is never, as a company, just like Herbalife, you're going to face adversity. You're going to face fluctuations in the market. As founders or as
this is pre-launch for
as vision, whatever you want to say,
protocol.
We have to focus on what is the company we're becoming.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that COVID's not an excuse. COVID was real. It put a lot of companies focused or paused on focusing on what they're becoming.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where we were getting back to our roots. It's like, okay, we have this technology. However, we're 10 years young now, right? You always have to reinvent or go forward. But it was really our personal journeys that was inspiring us to we need to do something to get ahead of where everybody's going.
Yeah. Yep. But if you can solve the problem for yourselves, and it's the same problem that everyone has.
That's where it started.
Then you have it,
That's where it started, right? And it's like what Brian was saying, is the Pruvit culture, the mission's going after better, very similar to the Herbalife, right? Message and mission right now, like your best life. So that has always been the spirit. And part of the community was always kind of the biohacking conversation that we talked about. But it really started with Brian and I on a text thread, right, with Dr. Ryan, wanting to improve our own health and our own journey, and him putting together.
So I think Dr. Ryan developed protocol. I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Ryan. Hold on. I just want to make sure we get this right.
Protocol Pruvit. Yes, Dr. Ryan P. Lowry was one of the two main formulators of Pruvit products and is associated with the Protocol Initiative. Dr. Lowry is a well-known expert in the ketogenic lifestyle, the CEO of ketogenic.com, and the author of the Ketogenic Bible. He has published numerous papers on human performance and sports nutrition, and his expertise was instrumental in the scientific backing and formulation of Pruvit's ketone supplements such as Keto OS. In March 2025, the health and wellness company Herbalife acquired the assets of both Pruvit and Protocol Health LLC, a personalized digital application company, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Lowry is now associated with a new combined platform serving as the president of Protocol and chief strategy officer of Herbalife. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Protocols on Google Docs of all the things that we were supposed to be doing. And then the frustration of us who have been in the health industry a long time, right, and have access to information, and how difficult
is which lawsuit? The civil one? The civil one against Brian Underwood is specifically about Brian no, it's specifically for SEX, discrimination, and ASSAULT. So it's specifically him towards one person, and you can let that run. Yeah, I'm sure that these people are not staying around.
difficult it just was to get all the pieces, you know. I mean, I sitting there, all the different supplements, right? You know, go to the LabCorp, get the blood, then they give you this long sheet. And I've been in the health industry for decades. I still don't know what all that stuff means. I don't know where.
Yeah, I mean, it is him specifically towards her.
Where I was 6 months ago when I got it measured before, like, and asking the questions of why can't all this be in one simple place where you can measure, right, what matters, understand the decisions, right, that we should make for our own health goals, right, have a, guidance or a platform that tells you what you need to do, right? And that's where the genesis, right, came from. Like you said, it was really a problem for ourselves and a recognition that right now the solutions are fragmented, they are complex, they are expensive, but it's something that everybody wants to solve, right? And I think that was kind of the origin of kind of what led Protocol to being where it's going.
Yeah. How do you put all of these confusing pieces of what's real, what's not in this new era of health and wellness. How do you fit it together in a simplistic way that impacts me on the outcomes that I want? Yeah. And what is the real protocol that I need to follow?
Yeah. For the individual, like you were saying, right?
And it's complex, right? I mean, if you think about it, because you have, and I think we're all aligned on this, but the future of our model, how we go to market, the person to person, the coaching, the community, the simplification of something. For some people, they want simple. Some people want to just say, hey, tell me what to do. And I'm never going to go do blood but tell me how I should eat. Tell me what supplements I should be taking. Tell me. So there's this level of.
Do not. I know I say this all the time. Do not take fat-soluble supplements without getting blood work done. Do not fuck around with that. Do not fuck around with fat-soluble supplements. Please, for the love of God. Fat-soluble supplements can fuck you over. It's not about discomfort in your belly. It's not about discomfort in your intestines. If you take too much fat-soluble supplements, they will hang around in your fat. They will make a little home in your fat. And then, if you lose weight, those little fat-soluble supplements will say, we are being evicted. Let's leave all at the same time. And then your body goes, oh, fuck. Let's, we're going to overdose on vitamins. And you may say to yourself, all right, my body can't do that. Yes, your body can. Do not fuck around with fat-soluble supplements, fat-soluble vitamins, okay? Do not do it. Go to your doctor. Get some blood work done. My God. This dude who used to try to race professionally with biking is not going to talk about the importance of blood work and fat-soluble vitamins. Are we in the Twilight Zone?
Simple person to person. If you look across, if you take the United States, 330 million people, you go from the East Coast to the West, you go north to south to north. There's all kinds of people. Their level of interest.
Yeah, Fred. Yeah, I need you to put a sign up. No, that sound you hear is not me filing my nails at the cash register. No, I think your hearing's going. No, I'm not paging you over this. No, I think your hearing is going. Yeah, I'm watching the TV right now. There's no customers in the store. No, there are no customers in the store. Listen. Go to the supplements aisle and bring a piece of paper with you. I cannot leave the cash registers right now. Sir, I cannot leave the cash registers right now. Listen, if someone comes in, who's going to greet them? Are you going to come out of the stocking area and greet them? No, you are not. Who's going to do it? I'm going to do it. No, I will not be filing my nails as someone comes into the store. I will put my nail file down. It would be filing my nails, which I am not right now. Nobody's in the store. I will greet them if they walk into the store. Listen, this is not what this is about. I'm watching some Herbalife chicken nugget on the TV, and listen. They're talking about supplements, and we need to go to the supplements and go to the fat-soluble supplements. If you listen, we could have already been done with this conversation, and you could go back to whatever you were doing. Go get a piece of paper and write down. Yes, you're going to need a marker, preferably a Sharpie, but if you use a Sharpie, You're going to need 2 pieces of paper because Sharpie's going to bleed, and I don't want you to get stuff on the desk because the Sharpie's not going to come out of the desk. Fred, trust me, I've been using markers my whole life. Okay, just tell them that fat-soluble supplements, you need to be careful with them. They need to get their blood work done first. Yes, we're going to be responsible. We're going to be responsible with the supplements, even though we're probably going to go out of business because Melaleuca people are selling meat. Goodbye, Fred. No, I'm not filing my nails. Goodbye, Fred.
Oh my God, Fred. Goodbye. Hey, Shadow. You can unsubscribe from me. I think right here, over there. Oh my God.
Interest and how sophisticated they want to be. That's the complicated part. Because as a company and as an opportunity, when you have tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, some of them are very, very simple and some of them they're not. And so how do you come up with a simple solution, but at the same time scale and give accessibility to everybody? Because some people do want to spend the $100,000 for their health and wellness, and they
some people do want to spend how much? 100,000? Sir? Some people do want to spend 100,000? Some people do. Fred. Someone get that man a non-bleeding marker. Someone get that man Crayola, washable Crayola markers. God, Fred, what are you doing? Some people do want to spend 100,000 on their health. Is that the storefront that y'all are pushing? Are you gonna tell people about the storefronts, Stephan?
Because they are more sophisticated, because they're looking for solutions that are.
Oh, the people who are spending $100,000 are more sophisticated? Can we take a vote? Is he going to be on the fuck you list?
Attention, voters. Squirrels. If you're a subscriber, you can be a part of the vote. Can someone I'm presenting a motion to the floor of the squirrels. I'm presenting a motion to the floor to add Stephan to the fuck you list. Presenting a motion to the floor of the squirrels to add Stephan to the fuck you list. Someone second the motion. Holly has seconded the motion. Holly has seconded the motion. The motion. Just gonna make sure it's actually. Does anyone else second the motion? Do they want to, or do they think they need to? Holly has seconded the motion. Stephan has been added to the fuck you list.
Thirded coconuts. Bless you. Only sophisticated people will spend $100,000 on their health. Nikki, you can't make me unsubscribe when you give me quality content like that. Oh my God.
Less common, but yet someone wants to spend 150. And so how do you kind of take it all? And how do you make it available at the right time to the right people and brings people along a journey, right? Because you talk about it, decades in the health and wellness industry, but you didn't become the sophisticated, understanding, financially, capable to actually go out and buy the cold plunge and some people the $100,000 red light. So the taking the complexity of it and all of the pieces and making it available in one place in a logical way that fits our model, that people can monetize and leverage what's always been super amazing, which was start here and just do these actions and you can end up here. Like that's the sophistication in making it simple, right? It's a very sophisticated, complicated thing, but making it simple is.
If you haven't watched Betting on Zero, rent the movie. It is worth, if you find it for free. Betting on Zero. Now, ignore the part where watch the movie. Okay? Watch the documentary. Watch the fact that Herbalife was extremely strategic in putting this man as their CEO. Watch the harm that Herbalife has brought to the community. Watch the harm that Herbalife has brought to wreck people's ITIN numbers. Watch the harm, and this is all my opinion because this is a commentary channel. Watch the harm that Herbalife has done recommending people open up storefronts that they are not allowed to put any Herbalife stickers, signs, anything on the front of the store, allowing people to see into the store. Watch, please, please, please watch it. And then come back and look at this shiny, bright, heaven-like space and tell me Herbalife is not the scum of the MLM space, even though they say they're number 2, number 3 being so proud that they are a $1 billion company. You cannot tell me how twisty it is. And our unsophisticated volunteer sales force will just take our word for it. If you're like, I don't know, like, they make it look so reasonable. And yeah, we've seen Brian at his twistiness. If you haven't seen Herbalife at its twistiness, I'm not talking about whether that guy made Herbalife tank. I'm talking about the people that were harmed. And how twisty this situation is. That Herbalife's trying to rebrand the face of the company for, I don't know, to be some type of health brand for the masses.
That's where the power is in my mind.
Yeah, and I think you hit a huge piece of awareness for everyone is like we all are at a baseline of somewhere, but the evolution of who we become can become very contagious. It can become very addictive, and giving people the access that they can trust in the right time that they're ready for it. But you never stop the journey of progression.
Correct.
And that journey of progression, I think, is what honestly gets people to fall in love with our industry, gets people to fall in love with living their best life or pursuing better. Because I think once you do that.
Is pursuing better? Let me just ask you a question, Brian. Let me just ask you a question. Can I just ask you a question? In honor of Catherine Tate, can I just ask you a question? Pursuing better, is that allegedly, would pursuing better
embody someone taking advantage of someone else when they ask for something in a business setting regarding a raise, and their boss asking for a schmexual favor to get said raise, would that be pursuing better? I'm asking like in a hypothetical situation, would that be pursuing better? Is that the pursuing better that you were talking about the entire time that you've had Pruvit open? Is that what you envisioned? If that's what you envisioned, but that's not outwardly what you were training on, that seems strange. In the hypothetical sense, if somebody in your company had that kind of idea, hypothetically, that would be strange, don't you think? That would be strange. That would be strange, don't you think, Replay Crew? Live chat? That would be strange. I would be confused.
That to me is really the base or the genesis of why we're even sitting in these seats, and our journey for better or for our best life started.
Your journey for better in your best life?
34, 33 years ago, by something that triggered it. And I think that with the technology today, there's always going to be more awareness. And if you can find one solution of someone that's leading that, then you always have this comfort that you're not missing out on something else. You just stay the course. I just love when you said the evolution, because it is. It's giving people that evolution of technology or what they need when they need it. And I think that having something for everyone through a platform is, or some people don't even know what they need. They don't even know where they're at.
So you get to decide for them? I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. So measure, act, decide, right? Measure, act, decide. Do it, right? Measure, decide, act, whatever. Right, Nikki. The whole section that we just listened to is all about the data-driven platform. They talk about blood work, customized supplements, and wellness metrics. I mean, other than like, just make sure that you're getting your blood work done if you're going to take fat-soluble vitamins, for the love of God. What they don't talk about, who's qualified to interpret the data. If Herbalife or Prüvit distributors are using lab panels to suggest supplements, that's an FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and the Food and Drug Administration compliance nightmare waiting to happen. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Theranos, hello, is that you? I mean, that's not really Theranos, but like, that's gonna be a nightmare. It's not really Theranos, because like somebody at was it Walgreens? Walgreens was gonna do that, and it was someone trained to do that at Walgreens. So, I mean, that would have been better, but their machines didn't work. So, can you imagine independent reps looking at the data? Hey, this number, or texting their upline saying, hey, this printed out and I don't really understand the data. Can you like help me? Can I just send you a screenshot? I don't really understand, for my customer. And she just sent me a screenshot, but I don't understand. Can I send it to you? Let me text my upline. I don't really understand. Okay, let me text Brian. Oh my God. Let me text Dr. Lowry. Dr. Lowry ends up texting the wrong person. Oh my God. Reps can't legally give medical advice. They can't recommend products based on blood data. So if this rollout doesn't include medical oversight, it's skating dangerously close to practicing medicine without a license under an MLM pay plan. Holy motherfucking shirtballs. Am I wrong? I don't feel like I'm wrong, but boom, your health info is everywhere. Can you imagine? I can. If I can get back into a Facebook group for brand partners in Young Living, y'all would be shocked at what goes on in those groups. Y'all would be so shocked. I wish I hadn't left my old one. I wish I hadn't. I can get into one. I can get into one now. Dude, I can get into one now. I'll try to get into one. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know?
But I do think if we look into the future, most would agree that, okay, if you have the option to make decisions based on your own data, what's really going on in your body, right? Your biometrics, right? To use but something that's evidence-based, you'd rather start from a baseline that you know is where you're at so you can decide where you want to go. And most people aren't even starting with visibility into their baseline.
I don't
right?
either.
And then, you know, if someone would
terrified.
you rather have a personalized solution based on where you're at or a one-size-fits-all you bought off Amazon, I think most people would say, I'd want a personalized solution. And like you said, health isn't just one thing. It is a comprehensive approach. It's not just what we take, it's what we do, it's how we act. So those things are really simple to say of like, yes, that's what we would want, an evidence-based, right? A personalized, holistic. But where do you go? Where do you, based on.
Dude, I don't mean to be mean, but can we just all agree? Imagine with me. Let me paint you a picture. Come in close. Even replay crew, come closer to the screen. Courtney Shortney is your upline with protocol. I'm not trying to laugh. Okay? You have your protocol device, or however it works, and you don't understand your reading, like, whatever it is. So you text Courtney, and Courtney's on a live stream. And she looks in the live stream, and she's like, oh my God, someone just messaged me, and they don't understand their protocol deal. Did you know that we have this protocol thing, and it's so great? You can get a customized report about what you exactly need for your health. This is so cool. She clicks on it, and it accidentally turns into a picture that shows up on Instagram that everyone can see. And then she goes, oh no. And then it ends up turning large. And then it's a large picture with every data point from the customer. And then she's like, look, everything is there. See how cool it is? And then she's like, wait. Or someone in the chat goes, I think this is a HIPAA violation. And she's like, what's HIPAA? You know what I'm saying? Tell me you can't imagine that. Tell me you can't imagine that happening with other reps. And so she's trying to get out of it. She ends up closing it off. And then she has to go she won't ever do it because she never told the family that Wookiee passed away. So she's never going to tell the rep that she posted her medical details all over the internet. Can you imagine? That's can you imagine that kind of like stuff happening with protocol? I can imagine that stuff happening with protocol. Can you imagine the shit show that's going to happen And guess who auto downloads every single one of Courtney Shortney's lives? Me. I hate to see a dumpster fire, but I certainly am going to download it. We're almost done with the video. Sorry it's taken so long.
Where do you go to get that solution?
Step
right?
by step.
Step by step.
Yeah.
So
People stepping in at different levels.
Yes.
Because some people are already doing the red light. They're already, getting their blood panels like you were talking about. And it's a percentage. It's a small percentage, but it'll grow. So I think about two things when I think about the opportunity ahead. And again, part of this is going to get out there, and we want to share. But there's some things that we don't want to share.
We're in that Uber moment.
We're in that Uber moment of, so let's stay high level vision. I think
October.
Yeah. So I think just one thing is when you're.
Guess what? Well, let me see when this went out. Hold on. Let me see. When did this go out? Wait, what is this called? Hold on. If this is coming out this month. Hold on. What is this called? If this is coming out this month, Health Reimagined. Hold on. Health YouTube. Herbalife Health Reimagined Inside. Five months ago. Wait.
My name is
Videos. I'm trying to see if they have released anything recently. Protocol. The only thing I've seen is this video. Protocol Beta 1. 3 months. Saved a playlist. Anti-MLM React to. Oops, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. Someone posted a Zoom call. I'm trying to see if they posted October, is what I'm trying to see. It doesn't look like they've done anything yet, so let's just go back to the video.
Clear on what your mission is, and I've said this before, is that we're at the starting line of the marathon, right? Because this is never going to change. Technology, data, health and wellness, science, like our commitment to be the world's premier health and wellness company, community, and platform, that is the commitment. How you pay attention to technology, science, nutrition, the modalities that are out there,
have a good sleep.
The different tests that are out there, what's leading in the industry, what people are looking for, and how you put it all together and you just be that innovative company that you talk about is really important. And so, number one, there's that piece I think that's really important. because the other theme here was that there's not a lot of stability. And by the way, health and wellness, I mean, you both experienced telecom. Telecom came and telecom went. Health and wellness will never come and go. It'll evolve, right? And opportunities. And so, and we see that today, what's happening. We see that the technology, the world we live in, the accessibility to information, the direct to consumer opportunity, we see pivots that are happening in terms of health and where people go to get, we see how people trust, how they look at doctors and medicine today, very different than they did. And more of them looking for a natural approach and taking it into their own hands and not just putting it. It used to be,
being proactive.
Being proactive, yeah. And then there's the behavior and the support. So there's so many pieces that are there. So I look at this in two pieces. One is, number one, our commitment as a company to be the health and wellness platform of the world and what that entails. Because as soon as that's your commitment, you have no option but to be looking at everything that's out there and then figuring out how to fit it in because it's what we're creating. Number two, what that does for an opportunity for people. Like to be a part of a company, number one, that, has a 45-year-old legacy that is designed and has certain things about us that we will never go to another channel. We will never. You see it in the industry today. Every other month it feels like there's a company going out of business, going to another channel, changing their business model,
going to affiliate.
Because of our history, we would never go.
Well, that's super interesting. I don't know that
We'll never go to another channel. Okay. Like they have a legal agreement? Huh?
the
people know, and
know, like, I mean, Herbalife actually has an agreement with
100%
its distributors, a
Correct. Commitment. So when Mark Hughes passed away, there was this moment like, oh no, like we all knew Mark, trusted Mark, we knew where his heart and his passion was. But now all of a sudden the company was like up for sale. And it was like, okay, and people wanted to buy the company. And so in that moment, some of the distributor leaders were like, wait a minute, like, first of all, who's buying us? And what does this mean for our future that we've spent 20 years building? And so the distributor leadership negotiated with the company. At that time. It's an agreement that basically says Herbalife does not have the right to go to other channels, and that all the sales have to come through distributors. Okay, so number one, I don't know of any other company in the industry that has that. We have that. Okay, so number one, it's not even an option, and it would be the worst option anyway, and you should never do it from someone that was a distributor for 32 and a half years. Okay, it just is not. So there's that piece. And so there's then the opportunity. So that agreement is there, first of all. And there's some other pieces to it that are really important. Not only that, but having come through the FTC, because one of the other things that's kind of like this, and you said it, Brian, before, like transcending the industry, right? There is, kind of a perception of the industry that this is kind of, it's that thing. It's like, the Amway, the Herbalife, the Avon, the selling around the kitchen table. I mean, we've been through the FTC, right? We've not only been through, but we've come through with flying colors, and we've
You've come through the FTC with flying colors? What do you mean? What do you mean? Getting fined is coming through the FTC with flying colors? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Can someone explain?
Proven
came out the other side
and came out the other side stronger, right? So again, we just did Herbalife. We were never thinking industry and how other people would see us or what other people and how they did things. We were always kind of thinking just of ourselves, knowing our core principles and values and just building the way that we build. So coming into this role now, it's like, how do we take this opportunity around health and wellness and where things are going and this commitment? And then how do we bring the best opportunity to distributors that's a forever opportunity? Okay, so, and forever meaning forever, because you never know what happens in the world. But that's the commitment. And so, that's what led to this acquisition. That's there's a lot of things I'd love to talk about and to go into detail, but
what? So he says Herbalife has a legal agreement that they'll never move away from direct sales. Okay. Herbalife can't change its structure even if it wanted to because they have an agreement with the distributors. So while other MLMs are running to affiliate models to not to dodge regulation, but because they financially can't continue with the MLM model, Herbalife is stuck, and it's not stuck, but I guess stuck in its lane because of the agreement they have with the distributors. It's not a commitment, that's a constraint. And when he says they came through the FTC with flying colors, not quite. Herbalife paid $200 million in settlements and was forced to restructure its compensation model because the FTC determined it was deceptive. That's not victory, that's survival. Come on, dude. What is happening? Come on, man.
it wouldn't be the right thing as a CEO and as what we're working on, because this is a competitive business. But I'll just say we are creating the platform of the future that will give the best opportunity to anybody looking to invest their time and energy into building something. And, you know, I believe we're going to do it in a way that no one does it, and forget about just in the industry, but outside as well. And it's our birthright in the sense that we have the millions of distributors. We have 65,000 locations around the world, more than Starbucks has.
They've said this. They say this all the time. They say this all the time. My jaw dropped the first time we heard this in the Betting on Zero. Okay. They compare Herbalife's reach to Starbucks. I rolled a lifetime. Let's unpack this again. Every location they're bragging about is a distributor-owned club, meaning individuals paying rent, buying product, and absorbing risk. These aren't franchises, they're personal financial liability. So yes, Herbalife's footprint is huge, but each dot on that map is someone's wallet, not a corporate store. Do I need to throw something? I cannot throw anything because it's all stuff that is breakable. Oh my God. Just chill out. Just chill out. Just chill out.
Every single day, people are talking to people about their health and wellness. Now we're in the process in July.
You hear this? You hear him talk about 65,000 locations and millions or whatever. Watch Betting on Zero. Watch the people losing money. Watch the guy who lost tens of thousands of dollars. Watch the people who get scammed who cannot even speak English to be able to get someone to help them fight to get their money back, or to even understand that they are literally getting scammed by other independent contractors who are getting taken advantage of, that the distributors in Herbalife are like literally don't give a shit about them and wrecking their ITIN numbers because of the debt they end up going into. And it's just so predatory. And they're specifically going after minorities because they're isolated by language differences and oh my God, I'm just oh my God. Exactly, Holly. Just
of delivering the beta platform.
Beta's coming.
and in October, a commercial launch here in the United States. And I think it's going to change the industry. I think it'll be the beginning of the transcendence of our industry, actually.
Is this a cult?
You know, that there will come this day in the future where it's not, oh, it's a MLM company, or it's a network marketing company, or it's a health and wellness company. And
it's a multi-level marketing company. Look at the payment structure. You can say whatever you want. You can never get away from the fact in how you pay your distributors. How you pay your distributors. How the money flows. I'm getting my Duplos. I'm going to order my Duplos. I'm going to see if anyone's selling them on Facebook Marketplace. Stop it. Facebook Marketplace. Where are you? Duplos. Bless Pasadena. What if there's lots of germies on these? Oh my God, I just saw an ad for John Maxwell. Lego Duplo Disney 3-in-1 Magical Castle. That's not going to help me fight multi-level marketing companies, though. Oh my God. All right.
And the power of the distribution and the way they go to market, it brings something to health and wellness for people that no one could ever have. Because I don't care what you see and going in on D2C.
I haven't seen it yet. Let me see on Herbalife, the website. Nope, nothing on their website yet. I did see a Zoom, though, that we got. Introducing July 30th, 2025. We got this video, Herbalife USA, July 29th, March 13th, that's too far back, August 5th, 2025. I'll download these. It's an app. August 2nd. Cellular energy, it looks like pills. Nothing on the website yet. It looks like they're testing their stuff on their reps first. And they have an app, and they've got pills, and they're testing it on their reps first.
There's no way, there's not a person. And by the way, Mark Hughes, one of the most things was he said, the products don't speak for themselves, right? It's the distributor that has a vested interest in your results that's there to help you personally. At scale, if it's not in our industry, I don't know how anybody could scale that. Even if you could onboard a million customers as a direct-to-consumer, how many customer service people would you have to have so someone could actually pick up something? And I get it, AI, you could talk to an AI and they could answer for you.
Yeah.
But
connection.
It's only in this industry.
Right.
So you combine all of those things together, and I think that's the uniqueness, and that's the vision, right? It's to do something and to bring an opportunity that has never existed in this way in our industry.
No.
That is in the health and wellness. And so we've got an opportunity to impact people, humanity, and an opportunity for people to experience what we've experienced as distributors and what for us was like life-changing, that has us being here today.
Well, I think what you're describing is, to use Brian's term, I mean, it is the entrepreneur's dream. And I see it's the best of both worlds, right? It's the 45 years, you can call it legacy, but that's 45 years, 95 countries, 5 billion in revenue. At a time, by the way, let's just be honest, where in our channel, there is a lot of turmoil and a lot of decisions being made, and safety and security and protection as a foundation, right, is important. And we have 45 years of that, but also now bringing a new era, a next generation, an innovation, right? A forward thinking, right? That type of culture, right? Together, like, I can't think of a better scenario for our communities, right? And for new entrepreneurs of where we're going.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just feel very, you said entrepreneur's dream. I really feel a lot of gratitude and feel very blessed, not only to be here, but, really to have the relationship with you. And then also forging the relationship with you. I think one of the first times we I told Terry, I was like, that's someone I could follow because of what I felt. It's not because of what you said. And I think
what I felt, it's not what you said. Oh my God. I don't understand. 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 I have no idea. It's not what you said. It's how I felt. I don't understand the world. I really do not. Mine is not how I felt. It's not what you said. It's what you do. Because I don't really pick up on vibes. I don't pick up necessarily on what you said. Sometimes I zone out, and there's sometimes I'm so stressed out, like it's like I can't. I'll have to get you to repeat it a couple times because sometimes people will be speaking English and I won't be able to understand what you're saying. I will not. Sorry, friends.
Just to honor some decisions that I know, you come into, I always talk about a speedboat in the water versus a barge. And Herbalife is a giant. It is a giant. And to take the reins of a giant, to step out of the box, to innovate at the level that you are doing.
You're not taking the reins of a giant. They've picked you up. You're like one of those little like, what are those little boats that save people when the barge is going under? You're like, you just got picked up out of the water. You're not taking any reins. Also, you don't take reins from a boat. Doesn't have any reins. They've got a boat does not have any reins. It's not a horse. If that speedboat hits the barge, my money's on the barge. Yeah.
And doing it right at the genesis of you doing that takes a lot of not only courage, but a lot of confidence. And
yeah, like a little lifeboat. Just pick it up and just keep it on the side. And then they're going to let it go when they keep protocol, and they're going to let Pruvit just float into the distance. MLM is basically an undertow in this analogy.
Certainty of where you're going. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Love bomb.
Appreciate the trust and the relationship and the proximity of.
Is this a love bomb attempt? Hey, I'm going to try to get on your good side. Because I don't know you and I feel like the third wheel right now, but I'm going to try to become friends with you. This is an example of a love bomb.
Power and trusting, in a direct sales meeting, there was a guy that said a quote, and it's stuck with me ever since, but I think that you're the epitome of that, and that is dream big and be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. And I think that we're all still dreaming a bigger.
Where were the mighty forces coming to the aid allegedly of the individual who's civilly suing you for the schmexual schmassault, where are the mighty forces coming to the aid of that person? Allegedly. Asking for a friend. Huh?
Dream. And I think that Mark Hughes would want that. I think that the mentors that I had would always encourage that. My dad, who's my...
I have a question. Would the mentors be happy or sad with where you're, when allegedly the things that were going on in private when you didn't think anybody was watching were going on? Would the mentors be happy with your behavior, asking for a friend, allegedly? Do you know what I'm saying? I just have a lot of questions.
Hero would want that. And I just want to tell you all how much I appreciate that and how blessed that we feel to even share this message with anybody, listening in. This wasn't a decision from a position of weakness. It was a decision of growth. And I just look forward to the journey ahead.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well,
So
I know we could talk here for hours.
No, talk for us. You said something earlier, Brian, which was becoming the company that you want to become and still being the company that you are. And then there's this gap, right? So there's bridging the gap. And I think that's part of what's happening here, right? So you guys have been very innovative.
Essentially, they're doing something that no one else can do. I mean, that's like the overall message that they said the past few minutes. We're doing something no one else can do. I mean, the protocol. Protocol is always like, meow, meow. Proprietary blend. Hello. Ketones, they're always like, proprietary blend. Protocol's like, proprietary. Every MLM's like, oh my God, proprietary blend. It's proprietary science. I'm putting my shoes on and off. I'm getting so worked up. If a company really has proprietary science, you don't need hype. You have data. And where is that data? I don't know. You patent it, you publish it, you present it, right? Am I wrong? Because then it's protected, no? Is this data patented? I should have looked that up before the stream. When the explanation is the universe aligned, that's not strategy, that's marketing. It's marketing astrology. Maybe I should have asked someone who's good at astrology to co-stream with me. Who knows? My brain hurts.
Starting a company 10 years ago, by the way.
How do you look up if something's patented?
Is different than starting a company 45 years ago. The way you look at the market, the opportunity, the way people go to market, what's happening. And so I think this is the best of both worlds. And together, taking the opportunity of who we've been, who we want to become, and then bridging is going to be the beauty of the journey. So I appreciate your words, and it's a pleasure. And as you were saying, we could spend hours.
We could.
More to come.
A lot more to come.
I think we got to do more of this. I mean, this is the first.
Yeah.
So it's day one. It's day one. It's the first. Oh. When a 45-year-old company says it's day one, What they're really saying is forget everything you've heard about us. It's a narrative reset button. Just forget all the FTC fines, forget all the things that Mark Hughes said and shouted and pseudoscience he shoved down your throat. Look at this clean, shiny, bright building. Forget all of the things that we've taken advantage of. Forget all the people we've taken advantage of. Forget that betting on zero. Just remember, we're bright, we're shiny, we're the health and wellness standard of the world. Forget the MLM, forget the network marketing. Right? MLMs love the illusion of fresh starts because it lets them recycle the same patterns under new branding. New logo, same structure, new promises, same payout system. If it walks like an MLM, recruits like an MLM, and relies on motivational storytelling instead of proof, it's an MLM. Stephan. Oh my god. Mer. Team Orca when it comes to the Pruvit boat. What about a manatee? Oh, Orca, because I was like, manatees eat like lettuce and stuff, and then it's just, I guess a manatee would only be in like chill water. Do y'all know at Disney? Well, I mean, everyone hates Disney now, but there's a manatee that is like, purposely keeps losing weight because it wants to eat, or like it wants to go back into like the exhibit to eat, like to have it be fed its lettuce every day. So it purposely loses weight because Disney keeps track of its weight because it doesn't want to eat. It doesn't want to go find its food for itself. No results found for protocol. Do you think it's called something else? There's no patent pending or anything. Google Patents is easier to use. Protocol. Sorry. Nope. Haven't found anything yet. We have 1 minute left. We almost did it. We did it. Yeah.
So July, more news coming for beta.
July, beta launch.
And it's a process. I think anything that you're developing that's going to be great for everyone listening in, it's not going to be baked day one. It is
Robin.
the beginning of the process of the biggest wellness platform in the world.
Yeah.
And that's the exciting news. We're all at the genesis of something great.
We are at the beginning, yeah. So more to come.
More to come. I know 45 years for Herbalife, but the energy you're bringing, to echo Brian's sentiments there, and for a lot of the community now coming in, this is really, it's a day one, right, for us and for many of us. And I think it's going to be a new beginning for a lot of people. They're going to get to know Herbalife and now protocol in a whole new way.
Yeah.
So thank you for leading. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for everything up until this moment. And we'll do more of this.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Live your best life in a cult. We did it. Yeah. We barely escaped with our lives. If you're in Herbalife or Pruvit, as I love to call it now, I get why this sounds, I mean, I don't really get why this, well, I mean, I get why protocol sounds exciting. I'm sure Theranos sounded exciting to people. You hear words like community, health, future, innovation. That's hope language, but hope shouldn't require a monthly auto ship or buy-in. You don't need to recruit your friends to chase wellness, and you definitely don't need a ketone drink or protocol subscription on to have purpose. It's okay to want meaning. It's okay to want connection. Just make sure the thing selling it to you isn't the the one profiting off your vulnerability. So, rip. Mother trucker. Brian. Dude, Brian? Can y'all believe he's saying all that shit? How? Can I just ask you a question? Can I just ask people in the chat who pick up on vibes? Because, how can you be so different in private and in public? Can someone explain that to me? How do you, how can you do that? Does anyone know anybody like that in real life? I want to measure something so badly. Does anyone know someone like that in real life? I think Stephan should have said opportunity more. I need to make 2 parody pyramid pops. I think I should just do parody pyramid pops and then just let people come to my big stream. I grew up in South Florida. Manatees are the best. It's a bummer because you're not allowed to touch them. Like, how can you be... Well, I guess I do know one person like that. I don't understand. Wouldn't that be terrifying, though? To have experienced someone so different in private and then to have to work with them in public and then to realize that no one's going to believe you because they're so different in public that no one's going to believe what happened in private. She is two-faced. Behind closed doors, she is one way, public a different person. And then they're going to be a certain way to you in private, and they're going to make you seem like a crazy person because they push you and then push you, and so then they set you off one more time in public so you look like the crazy person. But also, or they're just never gonna, people are never gonna believe you. Or they're terrifying, you know? I don't know. There's lots of things that can happen. Or there's lots of different things that people do in private that, I don't know. It's just wild to listen to him talk about transparency and mentors and how sports can impact you and how special and how important sports were to him and how important he thought sports were to impact you growing up. And I don't know. Sorry, I'm coloring. I don't know. Nobody would believe my sisters and I when we would tell them that she is nice to them but mean to us. She was able to pull it off so well that we were made out to be the bad people. Yep. No, yeah, we're talking about I'm talking about somebody who acts intelligent and calm and articulate and like the perfect person in public and then is angry and silent and critical and obstinate and argumentative and gaslighty and emotionally abusive in private, and somebody who pushes and pushes and pushes to
try to work you up so that, and someone who like purposefully doesn't engage with your family until they have to. And then when it is time to hang out with your family, you've been trying to like have conversations or like they isolate you, then you end up going down because you're trying to whatever, help them feel comfortable or whatever type of relationship it is. And then something they purposefully like set you off one more time. Like they purposely like do something to on purpose to, we're talking about emotional agility, but they purposely do something to make you look like the crazy person because they've been like it's like an emotional scab. Like they've been scratching and scratching and scratching all day, and all of a sudden the scratching turns into like a full bleed. And so they look like the calm, intelligent, whatever, and you look like the crazy person who has no ability to regulate your emotions, and that, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Not like you can share more with your family and you can have more, you can be more like, that's what I'm talking about. But anyways, that's what I'm not talking about like not oversharing with your friends and or whatever, not oversharing with people at work and then sharing more with people in your house. Anyways, I was trying to paint a different picture. Anyways, so let's loop back to that first line. We're creating the platform of the future. If the future they're selling is just the same MLM blueprint wrapped in buzzwords like AI, biohacking, and protocol, then what we're really seeing is not innovation, it's reinvention. And sure, maybe protocol is different. We'll see. We'll see. If it's real and different or if it's maybe more like Theranos, we'll see. In my opinion, the real platform of the future is transparency, public income data, independent product testing, clear refund policies, and reps who can't legally make medical claims. Until that's what we see, the future is just another rerun. If this helped you see through the hype, share it. Someone in your circle might need that reality check before they buy in. So remember, we do not drink the Kool-Aid here. We analyze the ingredients. I'll see you next time. Deuces, Huns. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Bye.